University football. The game will be on 90.7 FM, but the music doesn't stop. You can keep listening to this show online. Just open up the WFUV app or head to WFUV.org.
Fordham Rams football returns home to Moglia Stadium for an afternoon battle with an old rival, the Holy Cross Crusaders. Last week, Gunnar Smith and the Rams fell to 0-4 to start the season with a road loss to Colgate. The Crusaders, led by sophomore quarterback Cal Swanson, have also had a slow start to the season, dropping to 0-4 after a Week 4 loss at Yale. Holy Cross is chasing a 7th straight Patriot League title this season, and their hopes are still alive as Fordham opens their conference schedule. The Rams have a chance both to foil the Crusaders' title plans and end an 8-year losing streak against their fellow Jesuits. A 123-year-old rivalry renewed in the Bronx means so much more than just a win is on the line. It's the fight for the Ram Crusader Cup. It's Fordham Football. It's the 63rd meeting between the Holy Cross Crusaders and the Fordham Rams, and it's coming up next on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Fordham Rams football live from Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. 90.7 FM WFUV Sports is proud to bring you the 63rd meeting of the Holy Cross Crusaders and the Fordham Rams. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you on a gorgeous afternoon on Rose Hill. Brendan, what a great day for us to find out who will take home the Ram Crusader Cup in the trophy's 40th year.
Yeah, Tucker, both teams come into this one struggling a little bit, 0-4 on both sides of the ball. Holy Cross had really strong defense so far this year, but an offense that has kind of struggled, and you take the flip side of that, Fordham on offense that has looked good, but a defense that has kind of struggled. This game is almost an unstoppable force versus an immovable object if you want to kind of relate that to Patriot League football.
Yeah, and they've played some wild games against each other in the past. Last season, though, was a bit more of a defensive slog. We got a chance yesterday to ask Fordham head coach Joe Conlin about what Fordham's approach would be to a game like this against their old rival. Take a listen right now. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey here with Fordham Rams head football coach Joe Conlin ahead of the Fordham Rams game against the Holy Cross Crusaders. Coach, we appreciate you taking the time as always. So it's a rivalry game this week against Holy Cross, and the Crusaders have taken the Ram Crusader Cup back to Worcester for the past 8 seasons now. How much more does this game mean to you and your team with so much history between the two schools?
I mean, obviously, it's always a fun one to play. We've had some really close games in recent years. I think 6 points have decided the last 3. So, they're a tough team, and it's always a battle, and going back to the early part of this, the 2020s, typically a lot of league implications were on the line. So, it's always an exciting game. We always get a great crowd, whether we're here or there. So it's definitely a fun one, but they're all big, and you got to play great football every week if you want to be a good team.
Coach, I know I asked you about the struggling offense yesterday on the Ram Roundup, but we'll call it real drives where they take the kickoff, return it to wherever they return it to, and then start driving from there. They haven't scored a touchdown on any drive that has started in that way this season. How do you kind of go about approaching, and how much motivation does that give this defense?
Well, I mean, I think you play defense against the formations and plays you're getting. Typically you have an assignment and things like that. They shouldn't be thinking about where the drive starts or anything like that. And there's certainly no guarantee. There was one year Lehigh hadn't scored in 6 games, and they came in here and first drive they looked like the greatest show on turf. So thankfully we won that game, but it was a lot closer than it needed to be. But yeah, I mean, it's you're playing that play, and that's all you can think about. And that's all you can't think about the next one. You can't think about the one that just happened. Like You got to play that play and stay in the moment and execute as best as you can for your teammates in that play.
Yeah, and last year's game in Worcester was a tight defensive battle. Fordham and Holy Cross, though, have played all types of games throughout their history, high-scoring, low-scoring, blowouts, and tight games. What kind of game are you expecting this time around against Holy Cross?
Hopefully blow out in our favor, but who knows? I mean, it could be. I think it'll be a tight game. I think our defense will play well, and I think their defense is good. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a game that comes down to special teams and field position, and timeout use and clock management and all that stuff, and should be exciting.
This week, Holy Cross, their defense has kind of been their calling card this season. Led by that front seven that they have, between stopping the run, different blitz packages they show, getting pressure on the quarterback. Just how do you kind of go about preparing for a team where that's like their strength?
Yeah, I mean, you got to get the scout team squared away to kind of give you the looks you need to look and you need to see, and then obviously you got to have a conversation with your offensive line and tight ends, like, hey, you guys got to do a great job with your feet and leverage and pad level and hand placement this week, and we got to have a great vertical double teams, and when you're game planning, you got to try to find a way formationally to get, two hats on their interior defensive linemen, and because if you can run the ball and stay out of third downs, you kind of limit their options, stay out of third and long and things like that. You limit their options defensively, and they have a hard time getting to the quarterback, causing problems there. You got to find ways to get the ball downfield on their DBs. They're sound, they're good. They know their scheme well, and they play fast. So it's just a matter of, okay, what can we utilize, and what ways can we find to create a numbers advantage and things like that, and God willing, you execute.
And so just want to talk about Gunnar Smith really quickly, because he had a really solid bounce-back game against Colgate last week, 200-plus passing yards, 3 touchdowns to just the 1 interception. What can Gunnar Smith do to build off of that performance this week against Holy Cross?
Yeah, I mean, I think Gunnar's been really solid, you see him kind of growing into the role week to week, just continue to play within himself and play within the offense and put balls in spots. And the great thing about him is, he doesn't get really flustered. So, dropped a couple big ones, and he kind of, he hung tough, and he knows. I mean, our wideouts are playing hard, and those guys they're working their tails off to get open, and those will come. So, he's just got to continue to be himself. He's a pro. He knows how to prepare, and just continue to grow in the role.
You mentioned it last week, just how Freeburg has kind of stepped up and filled those shoes that KJ Reed left when he got hurt earlier this season. Freeburg now leads the team in receptions, receiving yards. He's tied for lead in receiving touchdowns. Just how good has that connection been between Gunnar and Jack? Good.
I mean, Jack, practices hard every day. He's always out there with Gunnar, for Gunnar. Works at it after, so he was a super productive kid in high school. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of trust there. There's a lot of, we'd love to have 3 years of banked reps, but they have, 8 months of banked reps together, from spring and summer. So, Jack is a guy that you see him improving, every week, and he's really working on what he needs to work on in order to make himself a better receiver. So it's good to see, and Gunnar definitely feels comfortable with him, and the other guys as well. So, and we'll have Ricky back, so hopefully that creates, more issues on the outside to where Jack can't get as much attention as he usually does. So hopefully, that helps him even further.
All right, Coach Conlin, thanks so much for taking the time. As always, good luck to you and your guys. Just moments away now from a new chapter in an old rivalry, the Fordham Rams versus the Holy Cross Crusaders, coming up next on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports. And welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. We're just 4.5 minutes away from kickoff between the Holy Cross Crusaders and the Fordham Rams. Holy Cross taking the field right now, carrying their purple Holy Cross logo flag and an American flag as well. They're wearing white helmets with a black stripe, white jerseys with purple numbers, and black pants this afternoon. Looking very sharp, but missing a lot of that signature purple, as Brendan and I were talking about before the broadcast. But Holy Cross rolls into this one on an 0-4 run to start the season. They lost last week against Yale in what was Yale's first game of the year. That game finished 28-10 in favor of the Bulldogs. Fordham, of course, also is coming off of an 0-4 start. Last week, Fordham fell 44-21 against Colgate. But in that game, Brendan, Gunnar Smith had a pretty decent bounce-back performance after a tough game against the Stony Brook Seawolves. Gunnar Smith put up 213 yards on 24 of 42 passing with 3 touchdowns and an interception. Brendan, how can he build off of that performance today against the Crusaders?
Yeah, the big thing for me is you want to try and reduce turnovers, and you want to complete a higher rate of those passes. Gunnar Smith, we've been talking about it all season, that the flashes that he's shown both with his arm and his legs, his ability to run and scramble and get away from pressure, his ability to throw under pressure, and he's been finding Jack Freeberg a lot this season. I would like to see Gunnar Smith look for that, maybe increase that completion percentage, try and reduce those turnovers, but that's going to be hard against a very stingy Holy Cross defense.
And the Fordham Rams are just about ready to take the field as well. They're led by their large maroon Fordham University logo flag. And the Fordham Rams wearing full body maroon this afternoon, maroon helmets with white face masks, maroon jerseys with white numbers and white stripes on the sleeves, and then maroon pants with white stripes on the side. Brendan, this game is hugely important for the Fordham Rams, not just because it is a rivalry game and because there is some hardware involved, of course, that being the Ram Crusader trophy, but for a two-loss team in conference has never gone on to win or share in top spot in the Patriot League. Fordham, with a loss already in conference play, now on the ropes a little bit when it comes to winning the Patriot League.
Yeah, obviously last week a bit of a setback if you're Fordham. Not the greatest start that you would want, but you're coming in back home against a Holy Cross team that is also winless so far this season. This is a big opportunity for them. I don't want to say save their season. It seems really early to be saving a season, but just to get back on the right foot.
Yeah, Fordham certainly will look to try and change their fortunes here, as Holy Cross will do the same. And the coin toss, believe, was won by the Fordham Rams, deferred to the second half. It seems Holy Cross will be getting the ball first this afternoon. Just a minute away from kickoff now. Holy Cross, of course, winners of 6 consecutive Patriot League titles. Just one of those coming under current head coach Dan Curran, who took over the program last season. He certainly walked into success, but it's been a tough start for this Holy Cross team. The offense has really struggled for the Crusaders through the first 4 games, Brendan.
Yeah, Tucker, a bit over 12 points per game, just under 250 total yards of offense per game to this point this season for the Holy Cross offense. It just has not been their strong suit at all. They've been struggling mightily, but their defense on the other side of the ball has been so good this season that their struggling offense is actually able to have somewhat of a chance in most of these games.
And let me actually maybe correct myself here. I believe it was actually the Crusaders who won the toss and deferred, so Fordham losing a coin toss once again. And Fordham will actually be receiving the opening kickoff here. Fordham will then kick to start the second half.
Yeah, Tucker, a big thing today, too, injuries. 3 of Fordham's 4 captains that we've seen go out every week, Claudia Robinson, Duke Leonard, Alex Kemper, all out today. Big injuries for this Fordham team.
And so the place kicker for the Crusaders, Luis Palenzuela, getting ready to send this one away. Back to receive for the Fordham Rams is Johan Lee Lewis. And he
receives at the 11 and will take it out. He crosses the 15, now gets to the 20, still trying to bounce outside, but he's wrapped up at the 20-yard line. On the tackle was Donovan Comestro for Holy Cross, and Fordham will begin their first drive from their own 20.
Tucker, it looked like he almost got the edge there, and there was going to be a lot of space if he was able to get there. Great job by this Holy Cross kickoff unit to seal that edge and keep him inside.
And so the Fordham offense rolls out here.
1st and 10 from the 20.
Gunnar Smith at the helm of the Fordham Rams offense. Smith, a transfer from Highland Community College in Highland, Kansas. Before then, spent a year at USF and a year at UCF. Takes a snap, looking to pass on the first play, down the right sideline, and he has a man at the 45 of Holy Cross. It's caught. And it's Jabril Carter taking the top off the defense on the first play from scrimmage. 14:40 to go here in the first.
Tucker, how else to set the tone than taking a shot on the very first play of the game?
It's a 35-yard completion for Gunnar Smith to Jabril Carter, and Fordham is trying to move quickly here as the ball is spotted at the 45. First down and 10 for the Fordham Rams from the Holy Cross 45. Gunnar Smith in the gun, 2 wide receivers on the right, 2 on the left. Ball is placed on the right hash. Smith looks to the sideline for another play and now resets. Smith takes the shotgun snap, and this time it's a handoff up the middle, and breaking through the line of scrimmage down to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, and into the end zone for the Fordham touchdown. It's Ricky Parks, goes up the middle for a 45-yard rushing touchdown, and Fordham leads 6-0.
Yeah, Tucker, Ricky Parks wasn't even touched on this run. Offensive line did a fantastic job opening up that hole, and Parks, with nothing but green grass between him and the end zone, he takes it all the way for the 45-yarder.
Incredible play by Ricky Parks, stamping his ownership on the running back 1 position this afternoon for the Fordham Rams. As Bennett Henderson is out for the extra point, it is up and good, and Fordham, with an emphatic start to this game, they take a 7-0 lead, and not even a minute has passed in this first quarter.
Tucker, you hear teams come out and say, I want to set the tone early. I want to set the tone early. Fordham just came out with a 2-play opening drive, 2 big chunk plays, something that we haven't seen a lot of recently, but Gunnar Smith so good on that drive, on that 1 play he had, and then Ricky Parks all the way to the house. Fordham offense looks great so far.
And the deferral by Holy Cross backfiring just a little bit as they now find themselves in a hole against the rival Fordham Rams. Holy Cross has won 8 straight in this series, Brendan, dating back to 2017. Fordham's last win against Holy Cross came in 2016 in a game that was played at Yankee Stadium in front of 21,000 fans. Now it's Fordham with an early lead in the 2025 edition of the Battle for the Ram Crusader Cup. Bennett Henderson comes on for the Fordham Rams for the kickoff. Back to return, it's Ty Curran and Eliza Cason for Holy Cross. The kick goes into the end zone for a touchback. And Holy Cross will get the ball for the first time today, but down by 7.
A good kickoff there by Henderson, not even giving Holy Cross a chance to return this one, Tucker. Just even more emphasis on putting pressure on Holy Cross and their offense.
And the drive will begin from the Holy Cross 25. Sophomore quarterback Cal Swanson leads his Crusaders on offense. He's in the shotgun, offset to his left is running back Jaden Clairvaux. He fakes the handoff to him, now throws to the right side, near the numbers at the 25, and now lunging forward to the 30-yard line.
Ty Curran on that one. Tucker, just a little swing pass, trying to get that ball out quick, not give this Fordham defensive line chance to put pressure on Swanson.
13:40 and ticking here in the first quarter. Ball on the 30, 2nd down and 5 for Holy Cross. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Swanson in the shotgun puts a man in motion from right to left, and he sets up in the backfield. Now a wide receiver in motion from the right. It's a jet sweep, Fordham's defense sniffed it out, but he's still going to get around the edge. Across the 35, now to the 40. He gets up to the 45 and is pushed out of bounds at about the 47. And that'll be a first down for Holy Cross.
Jack Lowe, a great play, or what looked like it was going to be a great play there. The Fordham defensive lineman, he gets in the backfield and almost makes the tackle in the backfield, just misses, doesn't wrap up, and then that one goes for a big gain.
Eliza Cason on the 17-yard gain. First down and 10 from the 47-yard line of the Crusaders. Swanson in the shotgun, running back offset to his right. Two receivers on the right. Fakes the handoff, now throws to the right side to the 50. Has a man, but it's dropped, and that's going to be an incomplete pass. The intended target on the play was Charlie Mullally.
Yeah, just a simple hitch route there from Mullally, 5 yards up and stop, come back for the ball. He's open and just lets this one go off his hands and fall to incomplete.
Second down and 10 from the 47. Clock is stopped at 12:45 here in the first quarter. Fordham leads 7-0 on the Ricky Parks rushing touchdown. Shotgun for Swanson, two receivers on the right, one on the left, running back offset to the right. Takes the snap and rolls out to the right, fires a bullet to the right side, but it is over the head of his intended target. That time it was Curran once again, but that's going to bring up third down.
Boogie Owens there on the coverage is a couple of yards off, but that throw just a little errant over the receiver's head. Big third down here, Tucker.
Swanson in the shotgun once again, this time empty backfield. Three receivers on the left, two of them stacked up, and now one man goes in motion. Two receivers on the right on the far side. Swanson takes the snap, drops back to pass, fires quickly to the left side near the numbers, across the 50, and now knocked out of bounds. After a short gain, Sam Slade out of the backfield on the reception there, but that's going to bring up fourth down and short.
Yeah, Fordham with a little bit of delayed pressure there. It looked like they sent a linebacker a few seconds after the snap just to try and get some pressure on Swanson. Swanson sees us, gets that ball out quickly.
And Holy Cross seems to be deciding whether or not they will go for it here, and it seems like they will. Swanson's still out there. He has a running back behind him, now offset to the left. Three receivers on the right, one on the left, ball on the left hash at the 46 of Fordham. Takes the snap and fires to the right side, but it's dropped. The intended target that time was Nathan Schillinger, the tight end, and that's going to be a turnover on downs for the Holy Cross Crusaders.
Yeah, Tucker, another simple hitch there past the sticks. He is wide open. He has plenty of space. Just takes his eyes off that ball, trying to look to see where he's going to go upfield, and that one's going to fall.
And so Fordham will take over for their second drive from their own 46-yard line. 12:03 to go. Fordham has a 7-0 lead. We'll step away for a short break, but we'll be right back with more Fordham football on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports. What's up, everybody? It's Tucker Austin, one of WFUV Sports' New York Yankees beat reporters in 2025. Aaron Judge and company are hungry to return to the Fall Classic to avenge their defeat last season. Follow me on X at @T_Austin_24 for live game updates, video recaps, and more as the Bronx Bombers chase their 28th World Series championship. WFUV Sports is your home for everything New York Yankees. And welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. With 12 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the first quarter, the Fordham Rams lead the Holy Cross Crusaders by a score of 7-0. Holy Cross just turned the ball over on downs, continuing an odd streak of Fordham opponents refusing to punt the football, Brendan, over the past few weeks. But Fordham has the lead 7-0 off of a Ricky Parks rushing touchdown from 45 yards out. And thanks to our crew in the studio, we know that that run was also the longest for a Fordham Ram since Ricky Parks himself had a 46-yard carry last September against Dartmouth. So the first big explosion in the run game for the Fordham Rams that we've seen in a while, Brendan.
Yeah, and that's been something they've struggled with early this season, just getting the run game going. If that 45-yard run touchdown is a sign, then hopefully they can get the run game going today.
And so Fordham begins their second drive of the afternoon. They've run only 2 plays from scrimmage, but they start this drive from their own 46, first down and 10. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, trips left with 1 wide receiver on the right and running back offset to his left. It'll be a handoff this time to Parks, but it's blown up in the backfield. That time, first man on the ball was Cam Santee for the tackle for loss. It'll be second down and 13.
Yeah, that one looked like a run blitz there from Holy Cross. Santee was going all the way, fits right in between a couple of offensive linemen and makes the tackle in the backfield.
Ball on the Fordham 43. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun once again. 3 receivers on the left, 1 receiver on the right, and Ricky Parks offset to his right. Smith claps, no snap, now checks his line. A little bit of pressure from Holy Cross, and the snap goes over Gunnar Smith's head, and he has to fall on it back near the 26-yard line. He's going to be marked down at the 27. But a really rough play there, as that's going to bring up third down and very long.
Tucker, even pre-snap there, Gunnar Smith trying to get a read for this Holy Cross defense. They're just moving around a lot, trying to confuse Gunnar back there, trying to force him into some kind of mistake.
Certainly seems to have worked now, as it's third down and a mile for the Fordham Rams. The line to gain is the Holy Cross 44. And it's going to be a handoff up the middle this time, so really not looking to take a shot towards the first down, and the punt unit will go out for the Fordham Rams.
Yeah, it seemed Fordham just content to punt that one away. Just a draw play on third down, maybe trying to catch the defense sleeping a little bit, but doesn't work. This Holy Cross defense was on it, and Fordham's going to punt this one.
And for the first time this afternoon, out comes Will Haslett, the man who was placed on a preseason watch list for FCS Punter of the Year. He's given Fordham a great few years in the time that he has been here, and opponents have hated to have him punting against them. His punt is away. It lands at the 31 and takes a couple of bounces. The man back to receive lets it go, and it takes a Fordham-friendly bounce inside of the Holy Cross 20. It's down at the 17, and that's where Holy Cross's second drive will begin.
Yeah, Holy Cross there really trying to block that punt, Tucker. They sent 10 guys to try and get to Haslett, but Haslett gets that one off in time, and not just in time, but spiraled the punt, good bounce. He's been really impressive this season.
Impressive indeed, almost always pinning Fordham's opponents inside of their own 20. And after the defense held the way that they did in the first drive for Holy Cross, the Fordham defense that is, you'd expect more of the same here against an offense that really has not been able to put much together when they get the ball naturally off of a kickoff or a punt rather than a turnover, Brendan.
Yeah, an offense that has struggled in that way. The real way they've been scoring this season is this defense creating turnovers, giving them great field position, and we almost saw it there with an almost blocked punt by the Holy Cross special teams unit. But yeah, this offense really struggling. It's Fordham defense kind of gives them a good bounce back from last week.
10:02 to go here in the first quarter. Fordham has a 7-0 lead. And now might be a good time to look at some of the series history between these two schools. It's the 63rd meeting all time, as we've already mentioned. Also the 40th playing with the trophy in existence, Brendan. The 2024 winner of this matchup, of course, was Holy Cross. They won 19-16 and extended their winning streak against Fordham to 8 games. Fordham's head coach Joe Conlin has been at Fordham for 8 seasons now, and so he has not experienced a win against Holy Cross yet. His record stands at 0-7 versus the Crusaders. The first time Holy Cross won the Ram Crusader Cup was the first year that the trophy existed, back in 1951. Fordham, of course, because their football program folded a little bit after that in 1954, did not get their first win with the trophy until 1995. That win came in Hamilton in the Bahamas. Brendan, pretty interesting that Fordham's first win of the trophy came at a neutral site, and the last time they won the trophy also at a neutral site.
Yeah, very interesting stuff. I mean, this rivalry so storied, so historic. If you are a Fordham football or a Holy Cross football fan, this is the big game you circle on your calendar every year, is who's taking home the Ram Crusader Cup.
Certainly marked on the Fordham Rams calendars, especially because of the losing streak. But after that, long Ricky Parks rushing touchdown. Fordham in a great position to finally get by these Crusaders. Second drive of the afternoon for Holy Cross. Cal Swanson back out there alongside Jaden Clairvaux in that backfield. Two receivers on the left, one on the right. Takes the shotgun snap, fakes the handoff, and now throws to the left side out wide. He gets across the 20 and is run out of bounds at around the 23. That time, it was Elijah Kaysen.
Yeah, it's just a numbers game there. Kaysen goes in orbit motion behind the quarterback, and then Swanson's just reading, are the numbers in the box or the numbers out where Kaysen is going to be.
And Kaysen will take a play or two off. He heads for the sideline. Swanson in the shotgun with Clairvaux behind him. He sends a tight end in motion to the right side. One receiver on the right, one on the left. Takes the snap, handoff up the middle. It's plugged up by James Conway and a couple of other Fordham defenders. It's a gain of only 2, and the ball will be on the 25, third down and short.
Yeah, it looked like that run was designed to go further down to the right, closer towards an off-tackle kind of run, but the Fordham defensive line there does a great job getting pushed, getting in that backfield, forcing a different hole to open up.
Fordham brings out John Scott III to play on the left edge, but now he switches over to the right edge. Fordham has 4 on the D-line. Swanson in the shotgun. Clairvaux, the running back, offset to his right. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right, ball in the middle of the field. Swanson takes the snap, looking to pass, but now flushed out of the pocket. He's pressured near the 20. There's a flag on the field, and he fires it downfield, but I believe he stepped out of bounds near the 20.
Flag on the play.
And we'll await the call on the flag from Alexander Randolph, the head referee.
That is a real bummer there for Fordham, Tucker. If he doesn't step out there, and it looks like he barely did, he throws that ball and it's intercepted by Fordham. Unfortunately for them, he was out. The flag will go against Holy Cross.
And you heard it right there. It is a holding penalty against Holy Cross, but Joe Conlin smartly declines, and that brings up fourth down. So the punt unit will come out for Holy Cross. Another great defensive series for the Fordham Rams.
Yeah, the defense looked real strong there for Fordham, both on the rundowns and that third down where the big pass play and the coverage was very sound.
Back to receive the punt for Fordham is sophomore wide receiver Jack Freeberg. And Ethan Moss's punt is away, but there's going to be a flag as Fordham made contact with the Holy Cross punter just after the punt got away.
Down at the 26-yard line, there is
Yeah, Tucker, that one is going to be against Fordham. It looked like it running into the kicker. He hit the kicking leg for this punter. But that should be enough to give Holy Cross possibly a first down.
Yeah, it was a 4th down and 8, so really running into or roughing the kicker should do it. And it is running.
So that 5-yard penalty for running, they elect to decline it, take the punt that they got. Close call there if you're Fordham. Roughing the punter gives them an automatic first down there.
Yeah, and it was a solid punt, so they elect to take it. The ball will be at the 26-yard line for the Fordham Rams. Clearly, Dan Curran thinking that there wouldn't be a much better punt after that first one. It got a very favorable Holy Cross bounce.
Yeah, that one looked,
returner stayed away from it after you saw the flag in the backfield.
Yeah, that one looked near 60 yards, Tucker. Very, very good punt there.
And it seems like they might be respotting the ball a little bit here. They're going to place it.
After the penalty.
Well, they were going to place it back at the 21. Now they're placing it back at the 26 again, where it was originally.
A little bit of confusion out there, it appears, Tucker.
So ball on the left hash at the 26-yard line for the Fordham Rams. 8:07 to go in the first quarter. They lead by 7. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left for Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. He fakes the handoff and now looks to the left side, down the field. There's a lot of contact, and there's a flag at the 41-yard line. And the initial signal is pass interference against Fordham.
Yeah, that one looked real close. A lot of hand fighting over there on that far sideline. I think this call could personally go either way, but the way the refs see it looks like they're going to take it against Fordham. Yeah, Tucker.
Yeah, the initial signal from the sideline referee was against the offense, and now the head referee announces the pass interference penalty against the Fordham Rams. I believe that's the first penalty of the afternoon against Fordham, and it's going to back up the offense quite a bit here.
Yeah, it looked like a bit of a push-off at the very end of that. Just trying to create some extra space.
Ball on the 13-yard line, first down, and more than 20 to go. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, takes the snap, and now he's going to keep it. Moving up the left side across the 20, runs into his own man and is brought down at the 23. So Gunnar Smith on the keeper gets some of those yards back, and it's going to bring up second down at about 13.
Good read there by Gunnar Smith. He sees the defensive end crash. He pulls it, keeps it himself, and he's able to get pretty close to that original line of scrimmage.
Ball on the left hash, two receivers far to the right, one receiver on the left. Shotgun for Gunnar Smith with a running back offset to the right. Takes the snap, now looking downfield down the right sideline, and it's incomplete off the hands of the man in coverage, Eli Thompson. And the intended target on that play was Jack Freeberg.
Yeah, it seems like this Holy Cross defense is running a lot of one-high safety that allows for a lot of shots down the sidelines, and Fordham trying to take advantage of that early. The third one already, where they're trying to throw it down the sideline, Tucker.
So third down and long here. 13 yards to the first down for the Fordham Rams. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun again. Three wide receivers on the right, one on the left. Running back offset to his left. Takes the snap looking to pass. He's pressured, has time, fires to the right, and he has a man at the 38. It's caught by Troy Worrell, but there's a flag on the play as well. And it looks like a holding against the defense. So Fordham with a nice 15-yard connection to break out of their own half of the field.
Gunnar Smith does a fantastic job on this play. He sees pressure coming off the right side, steps up into the pocket, and delivers that one to the right side of the field to Worrell.
Big catch for Troy Worrell. He caught a touchdown and 51 yards on two receptions against Stony Brook, but didn't record any stats against Colgate, now with a big 15-yard play for the Rams. Ball in the 40, first down and 10. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, takes the snap, hands it off up the middle to Ricky Parks. He gets about 4 and is brought down at the 44.
Fordham's doing a great job early in this game, using a lot of play action off of the shotgun runs. We've already seen a handful of those, and it allows for this defense. You don't know whether it's going to be pass. You don't know whether it's going to be run. It allows you to do these simple handoffs out of the shotgun as well.
Second down and 6, 6:36 and ticking here in the first quarter. Fordham leads 7-0 over Holy Cross. Two receivers on the left and one on the right, with a running back offset to the right of Gunnar Smith in the shotgun once again. Smith claps the snap, steps back to pass, and now dumps it off for his running back in the flat. And he gets about 15 yards there, shoved out of bounds at the 40-yard line of Holy Cross. Fordham across midfield there. Nice play by the wide receiver out of the backfield, Johan Lee Lewis.
Yeah, Gunnar Smith, great read there. Just gets it down to his check down pretty quickly with a lot of space in front of him.
Lewis lining up at running back with Jamel James still injured for the Fordham Rams. He's still in there at running back, offset to the left of Gunnar Smith. Two receivers on the right, one on the left. Fakes the handoff, now drops back to pass. Goes deep down the field to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete at around the 3, intended for Jack Freeberg, but more sticky one-on-one coverage against Freeberg down the field.
Eli Thompson there, the guy in coverage, great coverage there. He stays right on Freeberg's hip all the way down the field, does not give Freeberg any space to try and catch this ball.
And so Gunnar Smith will look to the sideline for his play call now. Johan Lee Lewis still in at running back. Also in the game, Jaden Allen, the tight end, who's been playing in a bit of a fullback position for the Fordham Rams, well offset from the line of scrimmage. Two receivers go wide to the left, one to the right. Ball on the right hash at the 40. Gunnar Smith drops back to pass, pressured immediately, and he has a screen underneath. It's Jaden Allen. Allen across the 30 and brought down at the 34, but it's going to be another first down for the Fordham Rams. Excuse me, it's actually near the 25 with 5:36 to go.
I love that play design there for Fordham. It looked like a screen pass to Johan Lee Lewis out to the left, and Gunnar brings his eyes back to the middle and hits Jaden Allen on the tight end screen.
First down and 10, Fordham from the Holy Cross 25. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, running back offset to his left. Three receivers on the left with one on the right. Man in the backfield alongside him is Braden Duvall, the freshman. Excuse me, it's Jack Kaiser, the senior running back from Summers, New York. Takes a snap and throws to the left side. Jaden Allen, he hurdles a man at the 10. Now near the 5. He's brought down at the 7-yard line. Another catch for Jaden Allen, and Fordham moving the chains once again.
Yeah, 2 in a row for the big tight end for Fordham. Just finds himself wide open out there on the sideline and showing his agility with a nice little hurdle at the end.
18-yard reception for Jaden Allen, and Fordham is set up in 1st and goal. Shotgun for Gunnar Smith. It's a handoff up the middle for Kaiser, and he is brought down at the 7-yard line.
Yeah, Tucker, we haven't seen a lot of Kaiser this year. Interesting to see him here. What that says about Jamel James and his injury.
Yeah, another head added to this running back room for the Fordham Rams. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left for Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. He fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, and across the goal line for the Fordham touchdown. Gunnar Smith on the read option makes it 13-0 Rams with 4:12 to go in the first.
Gunnar Smith has looked so impressive early on in this game. The second option play on this drive reads it perfectly. Both the ends crash. Gunnar sees this, pulls it, walks into the end zone, and Fordham extends their lead.
Bennett Henderson on for the extra point. As Fordham's offense really clicking here in the first quarter. His kick is up and good. And the score now 14-0. The Fordham Rams with a 2-score lead over their rivals, the Holy Cross Crusaders.
Yeah, Tucker, this Holy Cross defense has been the strength all year. But right now, Gunnar Smith out there playing very good, very composed, and cutting the secondary up.
And with that, we will take a short break. 14-0 the lead now for the Fordham Rams over the Holy Cross Crusaders with 4 minutes, 12 seconds to play in the first quarter. We'll be right back with more Fordham football on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.
Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Carrino.
And I'm Joe Henry.
Tune in weekly for NFL Friday, your exclusive WFUV sports podcast for all things National Football League.
We'll be covering everything on and off the gridiron for the biggest sports league in the world. Every week on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcast.
Can the Eagles repeat?
Will the Jets or Giants finally take a leap?
What's Shadur up to?
All of that and more on NFL Friday on WFUV Sports.
And welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field, home of the Fordham Rams. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you, where Fordham currently leads their Jesuit rivals, the Holy Cross Crusaders, by a score of 14-0 with 4:12 to go here in the first quarter. Fordham's most recent score coming from their quarterback, the leader of their offense, Gunnar Smith, who found the end zone on a read option from about 7 yards away. And the second rushing touchdown of the afternoon for the Fordham Rams. For Gunnar Smith, though, that's also his 10th all-purpose touchdown this season, his third on the ground, and his first rushing touchdown since the last time Fordham played at home against Monmouth on September 6th.
Yeah, Tucker, he's looked really impressive, and we know what he can do on the ground. But the fact that he's out there showing it against a strong defense, a good Patriot League defense in this Holy Cross team, he's looked really impressive so far.
Fordham, as a full squad, has looked really impressive to start this game off. Of course, both teams came in 0-4 to start, but Fordham wasting no time in this first quarter. They've already scored twice, and the defense has already gotten 2 big stops. Bennett Henderson is on for the kickoff for the Fordham Rams. Back to receive for Holy Cross is Ty Curran and Eliza Kaysen. And that kickoff is going to go out of bounds at about the 6-yard line, so it'll be a flag on the opening kickoff. And another flag here as there's some contact after the whistle at the 25. And we'll see who the flag is against, the secondary flag that is. The first one, of course, will be an illegal procedure for the kick out of bounds.
The second one, it seemed as if there were some extracurriculars going on after the play there, Tucker, between the two teams.
If it's against Holy Cross, the second flag that is, these penalties could offset. But if it is against Fordham, it could be a double-stacked penalty here, which is not the way they'd like to start this drive.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. Ball placed at the 35-yard line. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Kicking team, number 32.
And so it is a double against Fordham.
15-yard penalty. First down, Holy Cross.
Unsportsmanlike against Jalen Dawson of the Fordham Rams on special teams. And so the ball is going to come all the way out to the 50 to start the third drive of the day for Holy Cross. So a bit of a gift in terms of field position here with Holy Cross down 2 scores.
Yeah, costly mistake there for Fordham. This Holy Cross offense hasn't been able to get a lot going, but you're giving them such a short field to work with. You really can't be making mistakes like that.
Swanson in the shotgun with Clairvaux behind him, and he will hand it off to Clairvaux, shedding tackles across the 50 and now up to the 50 or the 45, of the Fordham Rams, and that's going to bring up 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, first down run. They run a counter play. Clairvaux with a massive hole on the left side after the defense gets flowing all the way to the right side.
One receiver to the right, one receiver to the left. Ball on the left hash on the Fordham 45. Swanson in the shotgun, takes the snap. He'll hand it off to Clairvaux again. He goes up the middle and powers across the 40, still going to the 35 and brought down at the 34 of the Rams. So another big run there for Clairvaux and a first down for Holy Cross.
Yeah, that's just a really strong run there from Clairvaux. He runs into a couple of defenders, but just keeps his feet moving and pushes and gets a few extra yards on the end of that.
Holy Cross setting up once again now with 1st and 10 from Fordham's 34. 3 minutes and 11 seconds to go here in the first quarter with Fordham leading by 14. Swanson takes the snap, hands it off to Clairvaux again, and he bounces off a man. Now across the 30 and lunging towards the 20. He's going to be marked down at the 20, move the chains again for another Holy Cross first down.
Yeah, this is a type of Holy Cross offense we hadn't seen yet this game. Their run game looks very strong. 3 plays, 30 yards on the ground this drive.
2:40 and ticking here in the first quarter. Swanson still in the shotgun. Clairvaux will take a play or two as he now stands on the sideline. One receiver on the right, one on the left in motion. It's a handoff up the middle, and still banging through bodies is Naoti Pooney, who gets to about the Fordham 12. Call it an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, this Holy Cross offensive line just getting great push this drive, opening up these massive holes for the running backs to run through.
Holy Cross using their improved field position well. Remember, this drive started from the 50. Clock will tick under 2 minutes here. A lot of linemen in for Holy Cross. Shotgun for Swanson. One wide receiver on the right. It's a handoff. They try to bounce it to the right. And still moving is Pooney. Lunges for the goal line across the 5, and now he's brought down at the 2. And knocking on the door of a first score here are the Holy Cross Crusaders.
Yeah, 7 guys on the line there for Holy Cross on that one. That run was supposed to go right up the gut, but Pooney, seeing nothing, bounced it to the right and found a bunch of space.
Pooney stays in the game. Offset to the left of Swanson. One wide receiver way out to the left, a wide receiver on the right now in motion. They fake the jet, and it's a keeper up the middle for Swanson, and he's into the end zone for the Holy Cross touchdown. Swanson keeps it and matches Gunnar Smith, and that makes it a 14-6 lead for Fordham.
Swanson with such good patience there. He just waits behind that offensive line, waits for them to get to their blocks, open up the hole for him, and he goes untouched into the end zone.
Luis Palenzuela comes on to kick the extra point. That will bring Holy Cross back within 7 of the Fordham Rams. The snap, the kick, and it is good. And so the score now goes 14-7. Holy Cross finally answers, and their third drive of the afternoon ends in a score courtesy of their quarterback, Swanson.
Yeah, Tucker, that penalty did end up being very costly for Fordham. You gave this Holy Cross offense, who had been struggling, you gave them a 50-yard field. You shrunk that field in half and gave them so much space that here, take the short field, go drive down, go score. It's exactly what they did and cut the lead in half.
There's been a lot of rushing touchdowns in this game, Brendan. Actually, only rushing touchdowns so far. 3 touchdowns in the game, 1 45-yard rushing TD from Ricky Parks, a Gunnar Smith read option touchdown, and then Cal Swanson scoring very similarly to Gunnar Smith on the keeper, goes effectively untouched up the middle. This game is also Fordham's first game with multiple rushing touchdowns this season, and the first game with multiple rushing touchdowns since November 2nd last season against Colgate.
That's something they've struggled to do, is get this run game going, but today it just seems like they've finally found some sort of answer.
Kickoff specialist Owen Saracino is on for Holy Cross to boot this one away. Back to receive for Fordham is Johan Lee Lewis. He receives at the 5 and now carries it across the 15 to the 20 and now up to towards the 25. But he is clocked at the 24 and stopped right there.
More extracurriculars there after that play too, Tucker. These teams, it seems like it's getting very chippy early in this game.
Both teams want to get their hands on that Ram Crusader Cup. So coveted is that trophy between these two schools. And so Gunnar Smith will come back out for the Fordham Rams. His running back will be Johan Lee Lewis to start the drive with 1 minute 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. Fordham leading 14-7 over the Crusaders. It's shotgun for Gunnar Smith, 3 receivers on the right, but now a man in motion from right to left. 1 receiver on the left side. Fakes the handoff and now fires over the middle. He has a man at the 50 and brought down across the 50. It's Jack Benton. Another big chunk play in the passing game, and Fordham is moving right along into Holy Cross territory.
Play action there. Benton on a slant route, a deep slant against man coverage. Great release. Way to get open. Gunnar Smith, great job hitting him.
Tempo for Fordham after the 30-yard gain for Jack Benton. Shotgun for Gunnar Smith. 2 receivers on the right, 2 on the left, but now a man in motion. Gunnar Smith takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looking right, now throwing right, and overthrows his man, Jack Freeberg, at the 35-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Gunnar trying to follow up that big play to Benton with a good play here, and he has Freeberg open there out on the outside, about 10 yards downfield, just misses him over his head.
Ball on the Holy Cross 46 on the left hash. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun with one wide receiver on the left on the short side, 2 on the right on the far side. It's a handoff up the middle to Lewis. He breaks through the line of scrimmage, gets across the 40, and is spun down at the 38.
Johan Lee Lewis on the run.
And that brings up 3rd down and short for the Fordham Rams.
Dylan Haynes, great job there. He's in that interior offensive line. Just a great block, pancakes the defensive lineman, and opens up that hole.
2 receivers on the right with the ball near the left hash, but not quite there. 1 wide receiver on the left. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, running back offset to his left. Pressure coming from Holy Cross, and it's a handoff up the middle to Lewis. He lunges trying to get to that 1st down marker, but he doesn't quite get there. It seems he'll be marked down at the 36-yard line. Maybe the 37 with the line to gain on the 36. That brings us to the end of the first quarter. Fordham will have a 4th down and very short. There's also a man down for Holy Cross on the field. But at the end of the first quarter, Fordham leads Holy Cross 14-7, and we send it back to the Rose Hill studio for the one-on-one scoreboard with Isabella Terracini. Isabella?
The one-on-one scoreboard.
In top 25 news, the undefeated Southern California Trojans are down 7-14 against the Illinois Fighting Illini going into the locker room for half. A lowly ranked Notre Dame team is down in Deep South territory, squaring off against the Arkansas Razorbacks, leading 28-13 with a minute left in the half. In other Big Ten news, number 1 Ohio State will be battling it out with another undefeated team, Washington, at Husky Stadium today at 3:30. If it really means more in the SEC, the afternoon slate will have to prove it, all with Auburn visiting College Station and a new Heisman candidate, Marcel Reed, at 3:30. Another set of Tigers over at LSU with Garrett Nussmeier and a QB will be facing the Ole Miss Rebels at Oxford, also at 3:30. And tonight, number 17 Alabama to play number 5 Georgia in Athens in primetime. With the one-on-one scoreboard update, I'm Isabella Terracini.
And representing Fordham is Father Thomas Machado, the Society of Jesus, the Orange Jim McGinley Professor.
And welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you ahead of the start of the second quarter between the Fordham Rams and the Holy Cross Crusaders. Fordham with the lead, 14-7. Thanks to a Ricky Parks rushing touchdown from 45 yards out and a Gunnar Smith read option touchdown from just 7 yards out. Holy Cross answered finally on their most recent drive. It started on the 50-yard line, but they moved effectively through Fordham territory.
If it really means more,
and
that's
then
when
Cal
I knew
Swanson
something
with the rushing touchdown on a similar option play to Gunnar Smith.
If you start saying it, you
but
can't
very
just
interesting,
stop talking.
something that just played out on the field during that one-on-one scoreboard update. It's actually the anniversary of the Jesuits, Brendan. The Society of Jesus established in the mid-1500s on this date, September 27th. So
It'll get
a couple
better.
of representatives from both Fordham and Holy Cross were awarded game balls on the field just now. Today is Fordham's 198th game against a fellow Jesuit institution, Brendan.
Tucker,
It was
history that we don't even know is happening, is occurring down there on the field while we're up here on the press box. And 198th game.
Nothing was really
against
inflected.
Another Jesuit school.
Nothing really was really
wow,
inflected
just
there.
Closing in on that 200 marker.
Closing in on
that should be a pretty fun. That should be a fun game. Fordham has one more game against a Jesuit institution this season, so that 200th game will likely come next year.
Yeah.
It'll be a big one, big milestone for this. Not just the team, but the school overall, as much as they celebrate the Jesuits and that kind of stuff.
League. So do you want me to switch that up?
And so
Do you want me to bring in
Fordham
a little bit more top 25?
will continue their drive. It's 4th down and 1 from the Holy Cross 37-yard line to gain, of course, the 36.
I would think
Fordham is going to send the offense back out onto the field to try to get this last yard. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun with Ricky Parks offset to his right. Ricky Parks moves to his left now. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. It's a handoff to Parks up the middle, bounces off of a man at the 35 and gets forward to the 31. Ricky Parks getting the job done on 4th down for the Fordham Rams. And that's a fresh set of downs for Fordham.
That's something we've seen this Fordham offense do, is line up the running back and Jaden Allen on the same side. And whenever they do that, they use Jaden Allen as a lead blocker. He goes up, and the running back just follows.
Wait, so are we doing
Jaden Allen doing it all, both in the blocking game and in the passing game today for the Fordham Rams. Allen is lined up wide to the right and now comes back in behind the line of scrimmage. Shotgun snap for Gunnar Smith. Fakes the handoff, now looks deep down the left side into the end zone. And it's caught for the touchdown! Noden Tracy with the 31-yard touchdown reception in the back left corner of the end zone. And Fordham takes the 20-7 lead over the Crusaders with 14:20 to go in the second.
Another shot for this Fordham offense, deep throw down the left sideline. And Gunnar has been so accurate with these today. This one finds Tracy in the back corner of the end zone. Unbelievable throw. Great diving catch. Touchdown, Fordham.
Quick strike touchdown to start the second quarter for the Fordham Rams. And after Holy Cross brought the deficit back to within 1 score, Fordham re-extends the lead here. Gunnar Smith with his 11th total touchdown on the season and a passing touchdown to Noden Tracy, wearing number 2 this afternoon instead of his usual 21. Bennett Henderson on for the extra point. And his kick is up, a line drive, and it is no good. Wide left, Bennett Henderson with his first missed extra point of the season. And after the first career touchdown for Noden Tracy of the Fordham Rams, but the score remains 20-7.
Yeah, it looked like Henderson just messed up on where he hit that ball off of his foot. Weird spin. It went pretty much straight left to the upright. Did not get any height on it. It looked like both now the last kickoff, and this extra point, he's kind of mishit them a little bit. Good chance to kind of bounce back, regain that footing, that composure here on the kickoff.
A diving play in the back corner of the end zone. Cannot emphasize enough how stellar of a play that was by Noden Tracy to come down with that football and maintain possession through the back of the end zone. His entire body was down in bounds in the back left corner. And a huge play there, setting the tone once again. Fordham scored in the first minute of the first quarter. They score in the first minute of the second quarter. Yeah,
Fordham striking quickly on these drives. Even though this drive kind of overlapped between the first and the second quarter, it was not a long drive. It was a very quick one for Fordham, and that quick kind of offense, these shots down the field, have been working so well for them today.
Bennett Henderson's kickoff is away, and it's received at the 4-yard line.
That's my job.
Brought across the 10, now to the 15 and the 20, and he's spun out of bounds near the 24.
Regular season.
Elijah Kaysen on the return there for Holy Cross, and they'll start their new drive from their own 24.
Yeah, even more extracurriculars here after this play. Not as much physicality, but more of these players talking to each other, talking some trash after the play.
But I've already talked
Tucker, these rivalry games, they always get a little bit chippy, but we're seeing it early here today.
And he picked the
Elijah Kaysen wound up on the Fordham sideline after the last tackle. Plenty of jawing going on, but no contact. It's shotgun for Cal Swanson. He'll hand it off up the middle to Clairvaux. He bounces outside to the left.
She's like,
and only gets a handful. Call it a 4-yard gain on first down, 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, the run game worked so well in the last drive. Why not go back to it here? They do. They pick up a decent amount, about 4 yards on first down.
Jaden Clairvaux only got 10 touches last week against Yale for 32 yards, but he does lead the team this year in rushing yards. Just 3 fewer carries coming into this game than his quarterback, Swanson. Swanson takes the snap, looking to pass off play action deep down the right side, and it is incomplete. Intended target that time was Ty Curran, and that ball traveled maybe 30 yards in the air, but incomplete, and that brings up 3rd down.
Double move there. Boogie Owens in coverage there. So good, not biting on that. Great job at the end, not running into the receiver, just staying back, putting his hands up, knocking that football down, making a play on the ball. No pass interference there.
Another big 3rd down for this Fordham defense. Up 2 scores and trying to get their offense the ball back. Empty backfield for Holy Cross. Cal Swanson bringing a man in motion with 3 receivers on the right and 2 on the left. Takes the shotgun snap and now fires quickly over the middle for the 1st down and more. Across the 40, and now the 45, and he's still loose. To the 50, and now to the other 40, and he runs out of bounds at the Fordham 39. But a big play there to break out of their own end of the field. A 31-yard passing play for Holy Cross.
Great job there by Swanson, the motion man before the play, just to see what the coverage is. He sees it zone, finds someone right over the middle in a hole shot, and he's able to take it for a big gain.
Tempo on 1st down from the Fordham 40. Swanson in the shotgun. Sam Slade, the senior running back, is out there. Offset to his right. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Tight end in motion from left to right is Schillinger. It's a handoff up the middle and now bounced to the right side, but swallowed up by the Fordham defense. 3 or 4 maroon heads on the ball there for the gain of only 2.
Yeah, Sam Slade just gets absolutely swallowed by this Fordham defense. Combination of defensive backs and linebackers there. They set the edge really well. Slade has nowhere to go, and they wrap him up.
Slade comes off in favor of the freshman running back Joseph Williams.
Oh, so it might have been them. Sorry.
Swanson in the shotgun with 2 receivers on the right and 1 wide to the left. Ball just about in the middle of the field on the Fordham 38. Takes the snap, play action, now rolls to his left and fires to the left near the numbers. Has a man who makes a juke and gets upfield past the 1st down marker and brought down at around the 28-yard line.
Pass complete to Charlie Mullally.
Charlie Mullally with the catch with 12 minutes and counting to go here in the second.
Yeah, Mullally does a great job there after the catch, making something out of what was almost nothing, makes a rare missed tackle from James Conway, is able to pick up the first.
Swanson still in the shotgun. Still with Joseph Williams offset to his right. One wide receiver on the right, two on the left. Back to pass, looks right, now looks left and fires left. And it's a short little slant route before he's brought down at around the 22-yard line. That brings up a second down and middle.
Very similar play call that we saw Fordham use earlier, where Fordham had the fake screen to the running back, throw the tight end screen. This one, a fake swing pass to the running back, go out to the wide receiver screen.
Three receivers lining up on the right side, the far side for Holy Cross. No receivers on the left. Shotgun for Swanson with a running back offset to his right. Puts a man in motion, now fakes the handoff and throws to the right to the motion man. Breaks a tackle at the 30, now across the 25. Leaning forward for that 20-yard line, but he can't quite get there, and he's marked down at around the 21.
Drew Minich had a chance to bring him down in the backfield, so close. He sheds the block that he is on very quickly, gets inside. Diving attempt to make the tackle in the backfield, he just misses.
Eliza Kaysen on the catch there. It's going to be another third down here, 3rd down and 5 for the Crusaders. Cal Swanson looking for a play, now setting up. He has Sam Slade back in offset to his right, and there's going to be a timeout taken here by Holy Cross.
30 seconds and left.
Yeah, I guess just trying to get a feel for what they're going to see from this Fordham defense. I guess they didn't like the kind of formation or personnel grouping Fordham had out there to kind of combat whatever play they had in mind. Taking the timeout, going to try and regroup here.
Yeah, Holy Cross in desperate need of points here, down by a couple of scores. They want to make sure that they end this drive in the end zone and not simply with a field goal. They are in field goal range.
All right, fans,
their kicker
made
from in the realm of 50 yards.
Joe Moglia.
So with the ball on the 22-yard line, well within field goal range, it would be about a 40-yarder from where it is right now.
Big thing here for Holy Cross is you just have to be very cautious with this football. Don't try and force it into any tight windows. Don't try and force it down the field if there's nothing there. Take the sack, take the loss, live to see another day, and take the field.
Those people come to my patio all the time.
Holy Cross will be getting the football to start the second half. There is still 10 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock here in the first half, so not really in the realm of a double dip quite yet. Fordham will have time with 3 timeouts to try and score again before halftime. And the Fordham offense has really been firing on all cylinders, save for the missed extra point, which was the first of the season for Bennett Henderson.
Fordham offense has looked really impressive, and even the past couple of drives, this Holy Cross offense and the run game they've got going has looked impressive as well. Expectations coming into this one was that it was going to be a low-scoring kind of defensive battle, but what we're seeing out here on the field is both offenses playing much better than both defenses to this point.
Fordham has outgained Holy Cross in the rushing game so far in this one. And I got to say, Brendan, that's not a familiar sight with this Fordham team so far this year. Now into week 5. They haven't outrushed a single opponent yet this year, but currently outrushing Holy Cross. And they will hope to continue to add to that. They'll likely look to Ricky Parks more often in this game as well, especially with a lead. Once we get into the second half, it'll probably be heavy run for Fordham. But still plenty of time left in this second quarter. Holy Cross with the ball on the Fordham 22. But a third down upcoming. 3rd down and 5. Holy Cross is ready to go once again after their timeout. 3 receivers on the left, including a tight end, with 2 receivers on the right. Empty backfield for Swanson, and I believe there will be another timeout called here. This time, it's a timeout called by Fordham.
Yeah, a lot of confusion on the far side of that play, Tucker. There were 3 receivers lined up out on the left side for Holy Cross. But the Fordham defense just not sure who's on who. They were mixing and matching guys over on that side. A lot of confusion there. Holy Cross is ready to snap that too. So great timeout use by Coach Conlin.
Yeah, smart time to take a timeout as well. You have 3, may as well use them before the end of the first half. The defensive timeout is the one you would have expected more rather than that offensive timeout that Holy Cross took just before this timeout. Usually it's the defense not liking what they see and trying to regain control, especially because Holy Cross was moving the ball down the field. But Fordham didn't like the look after the Holy Cross timeout, so they also take a timeout. Both teams down to 2 timeouts remaining here in the first half. Just under 10.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Empty backfield again for Cal Swanson. Swanson takes the snap, looks to the right, now looks middle. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, boots around to the left, and he tries to hurdle a defender, but he is brought down at the 20-yard line. A great play by the Fordham D-back to bring up 4th down and short.
Drew Minich there with the tackle, comes out of nowhere, flying from that far safety spot, coming straight downhill, and makes the tackle on Swanson short of the chains.
Fordham's 3rd leading tackler this season. And you said flying, Brendan. He was motoring across the field to go hit the quarterback. 4th down and the offense stays on the field. Swanson in the shotgun, running back to his left. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on his left. He looks right immediately, and it is complete across the 20 or across the 15. He gets to the 14, giving forward progress right there. It's going to be a 1st down. Elijah Kaysen with a big catch for Holy Cross.
Oh my goodness, James Conway. He laid a massive hit on Swanson as he was delivering that ball. Swanson, great throw, gets the ball there, but he took a major hit on that play.
Only way that play is successful is if he throws the ball near immediately after the snap, and that's exactly what Swanson did. Got the ball out really quickly and sets up another 1st down here. Shotgun snap and a handoff up the middle, but tackled for a loss at the 15-yard line by a couple of Fordham defenders is Clairvaux.
Great job there. Andrew Osmond was kind of the guy who blew that play up in the backfield. He just flies straight through this offensive line, sheds that block really quickly, and allows the rest of the Fordham defense to rally and make the tackle.
Cam Nolan, the offensive lineman for Holy Cross, was slow to get up after the play, then got up, but then immediately went back down to the ground. Clearly a little banged up after that play. He's being checked by the Holy Cross training staff at the moment and is back on his feet now, hunched over a little bit, now standing straight up as he will make his way off the field. Good to see him back up on his feet and moving so quickly.
Yeah, it seemed like he got up after the play and then went right back down. He's holding something lower body related. I mean, we can't see exactly on that far sideline, but whether it's his arm and he's holding it down low or he's holding his leg, can't really tell.
It seems like he's walking a bit gingerly, but again, not quite sure what that injury is, but you just hope that he winds up okay. And so now another injury stoppage here. And we've had 2 timeouts on this drive inside of the 30, and now an injury timeout. Things really slowing to a halt in this game after moving relatively quickly to start.
And all this occurring within about 3 plays.
Yeah, and Holy Cross still knocking on the door. There was that big 3rd down where the 2 timeouts were called, and which became a 4th down that was then converted by Holy Cross. So there's been some big conversions on late downs for the Crusaders in this game so far, but it still hasn't been enough to keep them within 1 score. So they're still trying to get back to within what would be 6 with an extra point because of the Bennett Henderson missed extra point.
Yeah, down 13 right now and driving. And you mentioned the big fourth down conversion that they just had. And all the moving parts in that play, Swanson getting crushed in the backfield. Tight window throw, great hands on the catch to pick up that first. They're getting things done when they need to be done. Crunch time.
Crunch time indeed. 2nd down and 11. Maybe 12 to go for the Crusaders. 3 receivers on the left, 2 on the right. Ball on the right hash on Fordham's 15. Empty backfield for Swanson. Takes the snap, fires to his right quickly, but wrapped up immediately at the 10 and thrown to the ground is the receiver, Matt Brunell.
And Tucker, Jack Lowe, Fordham defensive lineman there, goes unblocked, gets a free hit in on Swanson there, and he delivers it. He gets Swanson, knocks him to the ground right after he makes that throw. Swanson's really taking a beating this drive.
Swanson in the shotgun once again. He has Sam Slade offset to his left. No receivers on the right, 3 on the left side. Takes the snap, looking to pass. Looks to his left and now fires to the left. Has a man at the 6-yard line, and he's brought down right there at the 6 for a short gain, but that's going to bring up 4th down and 3 here, Brendan.
Yeah, man covers there from Fordham. Man beater from Holy Cross. You have a couple of slants going, one from the slot, one from the outside. Swanson elects to throw the one from the outside and completes it, but still short of the sticks. 4th down, and it looks like the offense is still out there.
Yeah, it was Charlie Mullally on the last catch, but now another 4th down for this Crusaders offense. Swanson in the shotgun, running back offset to his right is Clairvaux. Receiver out to the right is Curran. 1 receiver on the left as well. He fires to the right, and breaking a tackle at the 5 and into the end zone for the touchdown is the tight end Mason McSweeney. Holy Cross scores once again. McSweeney on the short catch to the right side, and it's 20-13 Fordham with 7:07 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, great play call there for Holy Cross. You get McSweeney open on the pick play. You have a receiver on the outside run a 3-yard hitch. Gets in the way of Andrew Osmond, who's the guy on McSweeney. McSweeney just runs straight to the flat, has plenty of space, makes Osmond miss, and walks into the end zone.
A 6-yard touchdown catch for Mason McSweeney. Did a little bit of extra work to break the tackle. The extra point is up and good from Palenzuela, and that makes it a 6-point game now, 20-14, the Fordham Rams lead.
Yeah, the Fordham defense given in on that drive, but not a bad drive from them at all. I mean, multiple 4th down conversions there for Holy Cross. That has to be a great job by them. Someone has to say something about that. Give them props for what they did on that drive. But the Fordham defense, still something to build off of after that drive.
20-14, the Fordham Rams lead with 7:07 to go in the second quarter. But before the Rams get the ball back once again, we will take a short break. We'll be right back with more Fordham football on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.
Hi, I'm Grace McCarran, and I'm one of your 2025 New York Mets beat reporters for WFUV Sports. Follow along on X at Grace McCarran_ for live game updates, features, and other inside content live from Queens all season long. From Lindor's leadoff blasts to polar bear bombs by Pete Alonso, WFUV Sports has you covered every step of the way as the Mets make the charge towards October. WFUV is your home for New York sports.
And we welcome you back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you, where the Fordham Rams currently lead the Holy Cross Crusaders 20-14. Holy Cross just having scored to bring their total up to 14 off of a Mason McSweeney 6-yard touchdown reception, Bennett Henderson missed his first extra point of the year after a Noden Tracy touchdown catch for Fordham. That brought them to 20. So an interesting spot here with Fordham only being up 6. Missed extra points are one of those things, Brendan, that could really come back to bite you late in the game.
Could really come back to bite you, yes, but the way this Fordham offense is playing, I don't see a world in which they don't go down and score soon. Not necessarily saying this drive, but go down and get another touchdown soon. If they can keep on adding onto that lead, that missed extra point may not mean as much, but if this stays a close game, then absolutely, Tucker, that extra point that was missed is going to be so crucial.
Fordham's offense, though, like you said, has been functioning well. Gunnar Smith is 7 for 10 on the afternoon with 162 yards and a touchdown. Ricky Parks has 55 yards on the ground in 4 attempts, including a touchdown from 45 yards out. The kickoff received at the 4-yard line by Troy Worrell. He breaks past the 20, now up to the 30, and he is hit out of bounds at about the 33, but a great return by Troy Worrell.
Owen Saraceno, the kicker for this Holy Cross Special Teams unit, saves the day with the tackle on Worrell. Worrell lowers his shoulder and delivers a big hit, but Saraceno saves that one, gets Worrell out of bounds. And does Fordham have great field position? Yes, but that saves what could have possibly been a touchdown there.
Yeah, Worrell has plenty of speed. He's scored once already this season a couple weeks ago, but he didn't record any stats last week against Colgate. But back in the game today and making impacts for the Fordham Rams. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun here with a running back offset to his right. 2 receivers stacked on the right and on the left. He's back to pass after the play action, and he's forced to throw it away on first down.
Yeah, that one looked like some sort of fake screen and try to go over the top, but just not there. Gunnar Smith pump faked, but this defense just did not bite on anything. He has to throw that one away.
2nd down and 10 from their own 32. Fordham trying to add to their lead before halftime. 6:55 to go in the second quarter. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, same formation. Ricky Parks is the running back offset to his right with 2 receivers stacked up on the right side and on the left side. 4 wide total. Smith takes the shotgun snap and fires to his right immediately on a little screen. He finds Freeberg that time, but he's brought down for a 1-yard loss that brings up 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, nothing going there on that play. Freeberg hit as soon as he catches that ball. 2 guys out there for Holy Cross, 2 guys out there for Fordham. One ends up getting blocked, but then it's just a one-on-one Freeberg versus defender. Can he make him miss? This time he doesn't.
3rd down and 11 for the Fordham Rams. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun empties the backfield. He sends Johan Lee Lewis wide to the right. Trips left with 2 receivers on the right now as Lewis comes back in motion to the backfield. Smith takes the snap, looking to pass, dumps it off for Lewis, and Lewis gets across the line of scrimmage, but he's brought down at the 35-yard line. Great play there on defense for Holy Cross to force the punt for the Fordham Rams on 4th and 7.
That is a fantastic tackle there on that play. Screen pass against a blitz from Holy Cross. That is the ideal play call, but a defensive lineman sees this, wraps around, and is able to get Lee Lewis by the shoelaces before he's able to break free in space.
Punt unit is out for the Fordham Rams. Will Haslett will kick it away. On the return is Max Mosey for Holy Cross. Line drive punt, lands at the 36 and takes a favorable Fordham bounce, rolls inside of the 25, and there's plenty of contact between both teams, but nothing worthy of a flag. The ball is downed at the 24, and Holy Cross will begin a drive there with 2 timeouts and 5:24 to go in the half.
Yeah, Mosey and Andrew Osmond talking there after the play, still talking. I mean, they just stopped jawing at each other after that punt.
Out comes Cal Swanson to lead his Crusader offense. The running back in the game for Holy Cross, I believe, is Joseph Williams once again. 2 receivers on the left, one of them's a tight end. 2 receivers on the right. And flushed out of the pocket is Swanson after the snap, and he tries to move over to that left side. Does another little jump play there, goes for the stiff arm and is pushed out of bounds near the 30. And that brings up second down and medium.
Good job there by the Holy Cross offensive line. Swanson, that play is supposed to go up the middle, it looked like, but the offensive line cleared out everybody on that left side, and he had so much space to take it outside.
Second down and about 4 from their own 30-yard line go Holy Cross. Swanson takes the shotgun snap, hands it off up the middle, and breaking through across the 35 to the 40 is Clairvaux. Great run by the lead back for Holy Cross to get the first down.
Yeah, Clairvaux just so quick there, hits the hole so fast, bursts through, puts his shoulder down, and is able to get that first.
From the Holy Cross 40, first down and 10 with 4.5 minutes and ticking to go in the second quarter. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Swanson in the shotgun with Clairvaux still in there, offset to his left. He looks to the sideline for a new play call, and now Clairvaux switches from the left side to the right. Still in the shotgun is Swanson. He takes the snap, play action, goes over the middle to his tight end. He makes the catch at the 45 and shakes off multiple defenders. There's 5 Fordham Rams trying to bring him down, and they finally do. Nathan Schillinger with a nice little 15-plus yard gain down to the Fordham 42, call it 18 yards.
So much touch on that throw from Swanson, right over the linebacker, right below the safety. A perfect throw there.
Tempo for Holy Cross. Swanson in the shotgun again, still with Clairvaux, and they're going to switch him from the left to the right side. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left, with the ball slightly to the right part of the field. Off play action, back to pass, and going deep down the left sideline. He has a man near the 10, and it's caught! Unbelievable. Charlie Mullally lays out and makes a one-handed grab at the 10-yard line. He's down at the 6. And Holy Cross is knocking on the door with 3:13 to go.
Yeah, Fordham rolled down their safeties. They had nobody sitting over the top there. Holy Cross decides to take a shot downfield, down the sideline. A big play there.
A 36-yard play for Charlie Mullally and Cal Swanson. They tried to go with tempo, but reset the offense now. Running back offset to the left of Swanson in the gun. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. He's going to go for the fade to the right corner of the end zone, but it's incomplete. Intended target that time was Max Mosey, but it falls incomplete, and that brings up second down and goal.
Justin Johnson there in the coverage, isolated. He is on an island on that right side, one-on-one. Great job. They went for the fade. He does a great job getting his hands up, contesting that ball, and forcing the incompletion.
2:45 to go. Clock is stopped on the incompletion. Both teams with 2 timeouts here. Holy Cross, second down and goal from the Fordham 5. A lot of linemen out there for Holy Cross. 1 wide receiver on the right, and Clairvaux offset to the right as well. It's a handoff to Clairvaux, who bounces to the outside and is in to the end zone for the Holy Cross touchdown. 5-yard rushing touchdown for Jaden Clairvaux, and Holy Cross has tied this game. It is 20-all with 2:38 to go in the second.
8 guys down on the line. They are practically telling Fordham that they are going to run that ball. They do. Clairvaux so good, gets to the edge, bounces outside, and walks in for the score.
Out for the extra point is Luis Palenzuela to try and give Holy Cross the lead here. It would be their first lead of the afternoon as the kick is up, and it is good. Palenzuela puts it through, and Holy Cross takes their first lead of the afternoon. The Crusaders lead the Rams 21-20 with 2 minutes 38 to go in the first half, and Fordham will be kicking it away to start the second half.
Yeah, that's as close as Holy Cross can probably come to double dipping as possible. Getting points here close to the end of the first half, only 2.5 minutes to go. Odds are they might not get the ball back, but go down, get the score here, and then they get the ball, as you mentioned, Tucker, to start the second half. This is a huge score for them.
Holy Cross will kick it away with their kickoff specialist, Owen Saracino. Back to receive for the Fordham Rams is going to be Troy Worrell. Worrell is taken over the return duties for the Fordham Rams on the punt and on the kickoff, with Alex Kemper sidelined this afternoon with an injury.
Big loss there for Fordham with Kemper. He's their number one guy in that secondary and is one of their big playmakers on defense.
And so, ready for the kickoff here with just under 3 minutes to go. Going to be approaching the 2-minute timeout as it's received at the goal line by Worrell, and he takes it out of the end zone, cuts up to the 20, and still breaking tackles. He's brought down at the 24, nearly to the 25. Another solid return there from Troy Worrell, especially when you consider that he brought that one out of the end zone.
Yeah, solid return there. Gives his team some good field position to start this drive.
Fordham will try to retake the lead before halftime,
First down and 10 from the
being
25.
that they lost the coin toss and Holy Cross deferred to the second half. Holy Cross is in range of a double dip as it stands right now to go up by 2 scores. Fordham trying to set themselves up to bring a lead into the locker rooms. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. It'll be a handoff to Ricky Parks, who has a little bit of patience looking for a hole, but it never appears for him, and he's brought down at the 25 for no gain. Second down and 10.
Yeah, it's a smart play call, and I'd imagine they'd let this run down to the 2-minute timeout here. Just get that clock running. You don't want to give Holy Cross the ball back at all.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, running back offset to the right, 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. He tries to fire it quickly to that right side to Freeberg, but it's broken up through the hands of Freeberg, but he was actively being tackled when he made the catch. And that's going to bring us to the 2-minute timeout here. 1:59 is what it shows on the clock. Fordham will have a 3rd down and 9, facing down maybe another punt situation here. Down by 1, it's 21-20. Holy Cross leads Fordham. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the end of the first half on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.
Want to be part of the Ramley? It all starts here. I'm Nathan Rogers.
And I'm Kate Cox, and we are 2 of your hosts for On the Hill, WFUV's exclusive podcast for all things Fordham athletics.
From the field of Moglia Stadium to the hardwood of the historic Rose Hill Gym, we've got you covered with the ins and outs of Fordham sports.
Every week, every play, every round. Tune in weekly wherever you get your podcasts. This is On the Hill.
Welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. On the other side now of the 2-minute timeout in the first half, Fordham now trails their rival Holy Cross. The Crusaders with a 21-20 lead, courtesy of a Jaden Clairvaux 5-yard rushing touchdown that brought the score to where it is now. Looking back at the full game here, Ricky Parks opened the scoring for Fordham with a 45-yard rushing touchdown to make it 7-0. Then Gunnar Smith on Fordham's next drive ran a read option from about 6 yards out and found the end zone to make it 14-0. Then Holy Cross began their comeback with a Cal Swanson rushing touchdown, made it 14-7. Fordham responded with a 31-yard passing touchdown caught by Noden Tracy. Tracy's first of his career, made it 20-7 after an uncharacteristic missed extra point by Bennett Henderson. And then Mason McSweeney with the 6-yard touchdown reception made it 20-14 before that Clairvaux touchdown brought us to where we are now. Fordham with the ball on 3rd down and 9 here. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, trips left with 1 wide receiver on the right, 4 wide total. Back to pass is Smith. He's pressured immediately and flushed out of the pocket. Stiff arms a man, and he's going to get loose. Near the first down, he's clocked on the sideline. There is no flag on the play as he was still in bounds when he was hit, but there's plenty of hats for both teams on the sideline. Certainly some jawing going on, but no laundry there on what was very close but not quite a late hit against the quarterback for Fordham.
Fantastic play there from Gunnar Smith. He created something when there was nothing. Two guys coming off the edge, steps up, avoids both of them, scrambles right, has a guy diving at him. The stiff arm, you mentioned it, Tucker, stiff arms the guy into the ground and then scrambles and is so close to picking up that first down.
Yeah, Smith breaks out that stiff arm just about once or twice a week. But this time he didn't quite get the first down. On 4th and 2 from the 34 of Fordham, they elect to punt here. Hazlitt's punt is away, and it's a long one. It gets to the 27, and an attempted return there by Max Mosey, but he's swallowed up immediately by the Fordham coverage unit. A minute 41 on the clock here in the second quarter. Holy Cross with 2 timeouts, getting the ball on the other side of the halftime break. Going to try and add to their lead a little bit here at the end of the first half.
Yeah, Mosey there on that punt return, trying to navigate, trying to find a little wiggle room, but runs right into his own guy in Cam Jones. Knocks him down. He could have potentially had some space to run, but the two just collide. And long field now, Tucker, as you mentioned, minute 41 to go put some points on the board.
Fordham's offense going to try and stand strong against Cal Swanson in the Holy Cross offense. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Shotgun snap is handed off for the first play of the drive, and the ball comes out, but the whistle was already blown. It was Sam Slade on the carry up the middle. He's whistled down after a gain of about 2 up to the Holy Cross 30.
Even though it was a gain of only 2, Slade, just such a tough run there. It took 3 Fordham defenders to just bring him down.
1:15 and ticking in the second quarter. Shotgun snap for Swanson. He rolls out and now finds Slade out of the backfield. He gets another gain of only about 1 or 2 and is shoved out of bounds. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 7 here with a stopped clock at 1:05.
Sam Burkle does a great job on that Fordham defensive line here. Immediate penetration, immediate pressure on Swanson forces him to scramble out left and throw quickly.
Big 3rd down here. Fordham could force a punt and maybe get the ball back before the end of the half. Swanson in the shotgun, running back offset to his right. Drops back to pass, looking over the middle, now fires over the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended target there was Max Mosey, but good coverage by Boogie Owens for the Fordham Rams brings up 4th down, and out comes the punt unit for Holy Cross.
Yeah, fantastic coverage there by Boogie Owens. It's man coverage. He's lined up straight across from the guy coming out of the slot. Crossing route, but Boogie Owens stays on his hip, gets in there at the last second to deflect that pass.
Freeberg back to return for the Fordham Rams with a minute and 1 second left on the clock here in the first half. The punter, Ethan Moss, for Holy Cross. And the snap, the punt from about the 20-yard line will land near the 35, take a Holy Cross bounce. It's fielded by Freeberg at the 25, and he is brought down right there at the 25-yard line. There's a flag on the play, though. After the whistle, Jack Freeberg's helmet came off, so I believe there might be a little bit of unnecessary roughness against Holy Cross on the end of this play.
That's what it looked like to me, Tucker, as well. It looked like something happened, whether it was when Freeberg was already down, one of them kind of gave another shove or something of that matter. Just a little extracurricular activity at the end of that play there from a Holy Cross player.
Alexander Randolph with the call on the field, the head referee.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, 47, and kicking team.
And it'll be unsportsmanlike conduct against against John Owens of the Crusaders. So Fordham was going to start the drive at about the 24, 25-yard line. Now they're going to start it at the 41. So a little bit better field position here. 51 seconds to work with, plus a pair of timeouts. Fordham will again try to retake the lead here with Holy Cross getting the ball to start the second half. Smith in the shotgun, running back offset to his right. 2 receivers on the right and 2 on the left. Fires to the left side, and he has a man at the 40 and still going to the 30 and now brought down at the 25. It's Ricky Gonzalez II back in the lineup after missing last game against Colgate, and he has Fordham across into Holy Cross territory.
Great read from Gunner, finds Ricky Gonzalez in between zones there for the big game.
Tempo for the Rams. Gunner Smith takes the snap and hands it off up the middle. It's Johan Lee Lewis who gets about 2 yards. The sticks weren't even set up yet on that play. And the clock is going to be stopped at 26. Now it's still moving now. The sticks are finally now set up. It's 2nd down and 7. The clock is still moving down to 17 seconds here. Smith in the shotgun. 2 receivers on the right, 2 on the left. Smith back to pass, looking to the left. Now dumps it off for Lewis, who will spin out of bounds at the 17-yard line with 7 seconds on the clock. Fordham holding 2 timeouts here. You have to wonder how those timeouts don't get called.
You do have to wonder that, Tucker, and part of me is curious, were they okay just settling for the field goal? But why settle? You have 2 timeouts, so much time on the clock. Use one of those timeouts, take a couple of shots in this end zone.
At least 20, if not more than 20 seconds came off the clock after the Lewis run. But now Bennett Henderson is on to kick a field goal here with 7 seconds to go. And a timeout is going to be taken here by Holy Cross. They're looking to ice Bennett Henderson before he kicks this one. Henderson is 2 for 3 on field goals this season for the Fordham Rams, Brendan. And he's already missed an extra point today. But the usually reliable place kicker for the Fordham Rams is going to try and give them a 2-point lead going into halftime.
I wouldn't put too much thought into his missed extra point today. It was a terrible miss hit. Yes, but he's been so reliable for Fordham both so far this year and all of last year as well.
It'll be a roughly 35-yard field goal here with the ball placed on the 17. Bennett Henderson out there to kick now. And the snap after the timeout. The kick is up, and it is no good. Wide left. Bennett Henderson missed again. This time he misses a field goal from around 40 yards away, and a second missed kick on the afternoon for Bennett Henderson leaves Holy Cross still with a 21-20 lead and just 4 seconds left to go in the half.
Well, Tucker, this one not a miss hit like the extra point or the kickoff out of bounds. This one, it looked like he just lined up a little too far left or hooked it or something, but it was a solid hit, a solid kick from him, just misses wide.
And so it'll be victory formation here for Holy Cross as they're content to knee this one and take it to the half with a 1-point lead. The Crusaders will, of course, get the ball on the other side of the half. And the knee is down for Swanson. Both teams heading to the locker rooms. And at the end of 30 minutes of play, through 2 quarters here at Moglia Stadium, it's 21-20. Holy Cross has the lead. We'll send it to a quick break before we have a very special halftime guest interviewee. But quickly, we go to a break. You're listening to Fordham Football on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
And welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. And boy, do we have a very special guest with us here for a halftime interview. We have Fordham Prep class of 1967, Fordham College at Rose Hill class of 1971, the former CEO and chairman of TD Ameritrade, former Fordham Prep and Coastal Carolina head football coach, and of course, the namesake of Moglia Stadium here at Fordham University, Mr. Joe Moglia. Thanks so much for being here this afternoon. How are you doing today?
Guys, I'm good. This is a big deal for me, and it's an honor anytime I get a chance to come back home and spend time on campus. I spent 8 years at. It's always a special thing for me, and I get overwhelmed, frankly. I get a little emotional. I get overwhelmed with gratitude whenever I'm here. So this is special for me. So thank you guys for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, we mentioned you're a very proud Fordham College at Rose Hill and Fordham Prep graduate, and you've already mentioned it a little bit, but what does it mean to be a Ram for you?
Well, I think, again, I spent 8 years of my life on campus. When I was in college, my freshman year, I was married and had a daughter. So I had to support my wife and daughter, and I paid every penny of my education. I drove a yellow cab in New York City, a truck for the post office, worked at my father's fruit store. First year of my life, I didn't have sports. Fordham Prep, where I'd gone, had a good career, they offered me a coaching job. So my sophomore, junior, and senior year, I coached high school ball at the Prep, worked at my father's fruit store in the off season, majored in economics, thought I wanted to go to Wall Street. But by the time my senior year got here, I really, really loved the idea of coaching and wanted to continue to do that. So this field, either as a player or as a coach, I've been on this field for 7 years.
Incredible.
This school, just so proud of everything you've accomplished, everything you've done. You have your name up there on the stadium. Just what is that feeling whenever you come back and you see your name up there?
Well, it's humbling for me. It's humbling. Again, I can't come on. I get a little emotional when I come on campus anyway, but now I come on campus and I see my family's name. In my family, I've got like 13 grandchildren. There's only one that's got my last name. So I was worried about one day the family name won't even be here. Now I know that, forever our family is going to be recognized. And that to me is, again, it's part of Fordham. It's part of New York City. For that to me is incredibly humbling and special.
Yeah, and you said it's a little emotional to be back on campus. But outside of that, what is it like to be back here? Like, how much has changed effectively?
Well, remember, we're a landlocked campus, right? So from the time, my whole history here, I look at all the buildings, the vast majority of the buildings have been here a long time. And we've always done a wonderful job taking care of the campus, so it's always been beautiful. So it's not like you've got 1,000 acres and you keep putting up new buildings all the time. That's not what we have. Now, what we've done, I think we've grown from a cultural perspective. I know we represent 150 different countries. We have students from 50 different states. So we've got an incredible institution that's been here almost 190 years, a part of New York City that whole time. That's all pretty special.
Kind of moving away from Fordham, you're the Grand Marshal for the Columbus Day Parade in New York coming up very soon. Just how much of an honor is that, and just how excited are you for that role?
Guys, I mentioned what an honor it is for me to simply be on campus. Well, my father was born and raised in Italy. My father never finished second grade. He moved here when he was 11, couldn't speak English, sold bananas, apples in the Bronx his whole life. I worked for him the time I was 10, the time I was 22. He married my mom, by the way, was born and raised in Ireland. And my grandfather on the Irish side couldn't read or write, signed his name with an X. So my family was one generation away from poverty and illiteracy. So for me to be able to come back home, again, I played sports in all 5 boroughs. Here in the Bronx, I grew up in the inward section of Manhattan. For me to be able to come home and also celebrate my dad's heritage from Italy, the Columbus Day event is the most significant thing to happen for Italians in the world. So, again, I'm coming back home. You got Fordham's part of that. All the boroughs are part of that. And my father's heritage is part of that. It's a big deal for me.
Yeah, and so with Fordham at the half here, Fordham trailing by 1 against Holy Cross, but it was a very eventful first half, and Fordham's offense played really well, especially in that opening quarter. If you're in that Rams locker room right now at halftime, what are you telling the guys to get them over the hump against this Holy Cross team?
It's like the beginning of the game. You said we're down by a point, and like anything else, the way you lose games is you make mistakes. So there were a couple of key penalties that we had that hurt us, gave them a score. I think we got to be sensitive to that. We got to play aggressively, but with a lot of poise. The other thing, I think, if I'm the offensive coordinator and we like to throw the little bubble pass to the wide receiver, the two quarterbacks come up so fast, you should fake that, and the guy that's supposed to block, he's supposed to take off. That'd be a touchdown. We'll see if they pick that up in the second half.
You mentioned that one big play. You have coaching experience. Any other adjustments you would be making based off what you've seen so far?
No, I mean, I think we're doing a good job. I think we're playing well. I think we've done a decent job stopping the run. They've been able to hurt us kind of getting outside us. Okay, we continue our leverage, moving from the inside out. Special teams are pretty critical. We missed the field. That was a very makeable field goal. We missed an extra point. That's a 4-point differential. So technically we should be up by 3 right now. But we can't worry about that. We're down by 1. So again, whatever phase of the game we're looking at, execute, be focused, be poised, so you don't make some stupid emotional mistakes.
All right. We've got one more question for you, Mr. Moglia. How'd you like that opening drive from the Fordham Rams, the 1-2 punch?
I love that.
Topped off with the 45-yard run.
Yeah, I thought that the pass. I saw it. So I was in the end zone suite with the president and Charles, our athletic director, and I'm watching the pass. And I saw we had a step. I thought we get it. We make the play. We kind of go down. Then the next play we take off. So my first 2 plays here we're up 7-zip. So no, that was a pretty good opening drive.
Yeah, definitely a way to push the objective for the Fordham Rams in the opening part. Joe Moglia, thank you so much for taking the time, and we will send it back to the Rose Hill studio for an abridged one-on-one halftime report. Now to the studio with Chris Carrino and Isabella Terracini. Take it away.
The one-on-one halftime report.
Welcome into the Rose Hill Studios. Halftime right now in the Bronx. The Fordham Rams trailing 21-20 to Holy Cross. They're home and they're back for their first 5 games on the road this season, back home. And to start this game, they looked great. A great first half, arguably the best first half offensively Fordham has had all season. They get on the board twice, 2 touchdowns and a 3rd touchdown right at the beginning of the second quarter. All things at the beginning of this game starting well. Joe Henry joining me. Joe, just kind of talking about the beginning stage of this game, how much confidence did this Fordham team have?
I mean, it looks like they came out a renewed team. Obviously, you have a couple weeks on the road. They had the Monmouth game where, and much like most of this season, they tread water in the first half. They put up some numbers offensively. They're able to return home here, and I think this is the best that the offense has looked in a half of football. You would have liked to cap things off with a field goal at the end there. But the thing that sticks out most to me, how about this rushing attack? 75 yards on the ground. That has to be the most in a half for a Fordham team this season. They've got 2 rushing touchdowns already. That's a season high. That's the most they've had in nearly a full year. Ricky Parks really emerging into that lead role in the absence of Jamel James. I mean, him, Gunnar Smith being able to use his legs as a weapon, scored the touchdown on the read option.
Yeah.
Having that kind of dynamicism, it's adding another layer to this offense, and that makes it probably the most efficient and successful half of football that this team has played, at least on the offensive side of the ball all season.
Yeah, and that running back room all year so far, Joe, has been turbulent. Whether, like you mentioned, the injury to Jamel James or obviously Ricky Parks was the RB1 coming into this season, it just seems they have no control or no dominance that they can establish with the run game. It was most highlighted last week against Colgate. It felt they really hurt themselves with the lack of run game, and it hurt them in the pass game. And I think they're more correlated than I think people realize. From the pass game perspective, 204 yards for Gunnar Smith, 68.8% on the passer percentage, 1 throwing touchdown. That was the 35-yarder to Noden Tracy. That was a fantastic play, Joe. But as we alluded to, it was a good start for this Fordham team, but as the second quarter developed, it seemed Holy Cross really kind of stated their claim once again.
Yeah, it's been the story of the season for this Fordham team, and usually it's happened in quarter 3 where kind of taking the foot off the gas pedal, so to speak, maybe the defense not able to hold up due to fatigue. And here we see it in quarter 2, and this is probably the most battered that a Rams team has been this season, dealing with some key injuries on either side. So I think that's part of it. But the Holy Cross offense has come to life, and similarly to Fordham, it's doing it in more ways than one. Fordham's rushing defense, you'd think, is probably more of a calling card than their pass defense. Holy Cross has 75 yards at the half rushing. Clairvaux has been really solid, 8 rushing attempts, 51 yards, and the touchdown, averaging over 6 yards per rush. Punny is averaging 9 yards on two carries. And then on the passing side as well, it's similar to Fordham. It's this spread out, diverse attack. You maybe don't have a guy who's the number one receiver, but they've been able to get it done in a number of ways, and we've seen them in the second quarter really explode offensively.
Yeah, in the second quarter, they explode offensively. One of the big talking points for this Fordham team throughout this season so far has been the second half offensive struggles. Isabella, kind of looking at where we are right now in the game, Fordham really competing in that first half, looking like they belong, but as you've kind of gotten accustomed to this season, maybe a letdown in that second half offensively.
I would have to say so, but I also think it's because Holy Cross is picking up the slack. Like they saw what they were dealing with in the first quarter, and then they used that, and they're putting full gas on whatever they're doing in this.
Yeah, and the front seven has been really what's been talked about this Holy Cross team all season, that defensive line they have. It wasn't a huge factor at the early stages of this game, but as the first half went on and on, it seemed that defensive line was just getting closer and closer to Gunnar Smith, and he was just less comfortable in there. It really affected his game down the stretch. Still not a sack yet for this Holy Cross team, but they've definitely had pressure in that backfield so far, and it's easy for me to be pessimistic, Isabella, looking at the last couple second halves offensively, but this seems, at least in that first half, to be a different Fordham offense, and I could see that carrying over to the second half.
I absolutely agree with you, and I think that coming out of the halftime, it's going to be a much stronger offense and defensive side on both, and I would like to see a little more comfort settling for Gunnar, and I think that coming out of halftime, it's going to get better.
Yeah, and to Joe's point, the rushing game has been apparent and has been strong. 5 attempts for Ricky Parks, 4 attempts for Yohan Lee Lewis. Yohan Lee Lewis leading this team in receptions in the first half. 3 receptions for him. That's the most of anybody in the wide receiver core for Fordham so far. That pass game could definitely spread out, open up, and maybe see more of it in the second half, especially Gunnar letting that thing fly deep.
Oh, yeah, and without an interception for those deep balls, that's kind of crazy, but I do see him going for it a lot more. His 1 rushing touchdown, it was pretty solid too, but overall it's all about like really settling down.
Yeah, and it's been quality instead of quantity in that first half. It's been 1 reception for Benton, but that was for 30 yards. Norton Tracy only has 1 reception, but that was for 31 yards and a touchdown. Jaden Allen, the tight end, only 2 receptions. He has 33 yards. Ricky Gonzalez, 1 reception, 34 yards. And Jabril Carter, 1 reception, 35 yards. So maybe not a ton of receptions, but they're getting a lot of yards.
It's always over 30 or over 20. So like we haven't really seen that in games past, but now it's like we're seeing him settle. It's week 5, so it's like I'm seeing his progression, his comparison, and I think that now he's finally understanding what he needs to be doing, and he's actually executing it.
Yeah, and opening it up big picture, Isabella, just on a confidence level in the halftime locker room, is this the most confident Fordham's been at a halftime so far this season, and does that matter?
I would say yes, because they all are also playing another 0-4 team, so I think that kind of adds to that comfort and confidence. So like just given the progression of the season, I say they're going to walk out of that locker room with like heads held high. They're down 1 point, and it was a sucky missed field goal, yes, but it gives them another chance to, kind of like step back, look at the bigger picture, stay confident, stay comfortable, and go back in there.
And both these teams 0-4. That's a certain mindset you have as well. You want to get that win, especially against another team that you may think isn't on the caliber of the others you're playing. You want to get that win. Make sure you don't just stay winless.
Right, and it's also the Ram Crusader Cup. Like there is a name and a meaning behind this matchup, and for this game to be as great as it is so far, I am excited to see how they walk out of the locker room with their heads held high and a lot more comfort settled.
That's going to be it for us in the Rose Hill studio. We'll be back, me and Isabella, for post-game. We'll talk everything after this game wraps up. For now, Holy Cross up at the half, 21-20 over the Fordham Rams here at Moglia Stadium. We're going to send it back to Moglia Stadium with Brendan Shorey and Tucker Austin. Take it away, guys.
Welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. Thanks so much to our halftime crew for putting on a great show. Also, Many thanks again to our guest from the halftime show, Mr. Joe Moglia. We appreciate him taking the time. Can catch him at the Columbus Day Parade, where he will be the Grand Marshal. On Columbus Day in New York City, he'll be leading the march down 5th Avenue. Meanwhile, the Fordham Rams come marching back out onto the field here ahead of the second half. Just 4 minutes to go before we get things going. Once again, the Crusaders lead 21-20, and they will get the ball to start the second half. But Brendan, after experiencing the first 4 weeks of Fordham football this season, now in week 5, this has been maybe the most competitive game that the Fordham Rams have played so far this year.
Oh, absolutely. It's the most competitive so far. I mean, a 1-point game at half. Really, you can't ask for much more than that. Fordham has had the chance to be leading at this half to a missed extra point, a missed field goal from about 35-ish yards, a couple of chances where they could be up 3 going into the second half. They're not. They're down 1, but still a very competitive game, a very eventful first half.
Yeah, and so Bennett Henderson, Fordham's place kicker, as you mentioned, missed that field goal near the end of the first half that would have put Fordham up 2. He also missed the extra point on Fordham's 3rd touchdown that has the score where it is now at 21-20. So 4 points that Fordham has left out on the table where they could be up. It could be a 3-point game in Fordham's favor here coming out of the half. Instead, it's a 1-point deficit. But Fordham's offense has still been playing well enough against this Holy Cross defense to still score, maybe not often, but score at will. And this offense will try to do the same once they get the ball back. But it'll be down to the Fordham defense first to start this half to see if they can get another big stop. Of course, we mentioned earlier in this game that they are missing a couple of key players. Claudie Robinson, of course, is still not playing for this Fordham defense. He's been injured for a few weeks. We saw him in a sling yesterday. He's not wearing it this afternoon, but he is still in a jersey with no pads. Alex Kemper, one of the Fordham captains on this defense, also in a jersey with no pads this afternoon. And in addition to those 2 injuries, Peter Shalhoub has also been banged up for the past couple of weeks for the Fordham Rams. But the defense still has been putting together all that they can to stop this Holy Cross team. But at the end of that first half, Holy Cross started to kind of figure some things out.
Yeah, they did. They started running the ball really well in that first half, and it seemed like that was kind of how they were going to attack this Fordham defense. But this defense has been playing good in a way that we haven't really seen. They aren't really giving up chunk plays like they have been this season. They're kind of standing strong. They're forcing teams, especially Holy Cross this week, to actually drive the ball down the field, go play by play, put together long drives, and go down and score. And we've seen Holy Cross do that, a couple of big 4th down conversions, some big 3rd down conversions for them as well. But just the fact that this Fordham defense is forcing them to work that much harder and not giving up those big plays is a big step from last week.
Yeah, and Cal Swanson, the young sophomore quarterback for Holy Cross, is playing a solid game, 14 for 20 in that first half for 159 passing yards. He also rushed for a touchdown. Jaden Clairvaux on 8 carries has 51 yards on the ground for Holy Cross and a touchdown as well. They've rushed for 75 yards total, have Holy Cross, which is actually tied with the Fordham Rams now. Fordham with only 75 yards on the ground, a majority of those coming from the 45-yard rushing touchdown on the first drive of the game by Ricky Parks. Gunnar Smith, though, as we mentioned at the start, before this game started actually, Gunnar Smith had a great performance against Colgate last week despite the result, and now is certainly building on that performance with another really solid game. 11 for 16 passing, over 200 yards. He sits at 204 after the first half with a touchdown and no turnovers. And he also is responsible for a rushing touchdown as well. So 2 tutties on the day for Gunnar Smith.
Not just 2 tutties, but you look at how we played in the first half, 204 passing yards. And you think, okay, good stat line. It's pretty close to what he did last week. No, that's what he did in the first half today.
Bennett Henderson is ready to kick this one away for the Fordham Rams to start the second half of play in the 63rd meeting of the Fordham Rams and the Holy Cross Crusaders. It's received at the 5, now across the 20 and the 25. finally brought down at the 30 is the return man Elijah Kaysen. And Holy Cross will start their first drive of the second half from the 30. Meanwhile, Fordham player is slow to get up on one knee on the 28-yard line.
That looks like Justin Johnson out there, number 15, the Fordham defensive back, who is on the kickoff team as well. Slow to get up, but he's up now and walking towards the sideline.
Holding on to that right leg up near his quad and putting a little less pressure on that right leg than he would on the left, so he'll come out of the game.
First down and 10 from the 30.
Another injury for this Fordham team that is riddled with injuries among some of their top guys in the depth chart. But now Cal Swanson leads his offense once again to start the second half. It's two receivers on the left, one on the right, with a running back offset to the left in the shotgun for Swanson. He hands it off up the middle, and now bouncing around to the outside, finally gets across the line of scrimmage, just Jaden Clairvaux, and he gets about 4 yards on the first play from a scrimmage in the second half for Holy Cross, 2nd and 6.
Andrew Osmond, the linebacker for Fordham, does a great job blowing this play up. He gets instant penetration. He's in the backfield, forces Clairvaux to bounce this outside where he has help.
2nd down and 6, 14:20 to go in the second quarter, or the third quarter, excuse me. Swanson in the shotgun, takes the snap, now looks to pass off the play action, rolls to his right, fires down the field, and it's incomplete. Great coverage there. It was Terrence Jones the second for the Fordham Rams. Intended target was Charlie Mullally.
Yeah, great closing speed there from Terrence Jones the second. Mullally has a step on Jones, but at that last second, Jones catches up, dives, gets his hand in there, and disrupts that pass.
3rd down and 6 from their own 34. Holy Cross trying to open the second half with a score as they lead by 1, 21-20. Fordham looking for a stop to try and retake the lead. Swanson back to pass. He's pressured by Conway, flushed out of the pocket. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now cuts it back upfield, and he's brought down just 2 yards, actually a yard behind the original line of scrimmage. And that brings up 4th down after a loss of 1. Punt unit coming out for Holy Cross.
Absolutely terrific pursuit there by Colby Spencer, the defensive lineman. The defensive tackle for Fordham takes a perfect angle, forces Swanson to have to cut that back inside right into more Fordham defenders. You cannot draw it up any better than that.
Ethan Moss, the punter for Holy Cross, is out there, and back to receive for the Fordham Rams is sophomore wideout Jack Freeberg. And the punt is away from around the 25. It'll land at Fordham's 24. Fair caught by Freeberg. And so a good opening drive by the Fordham defense and a statement out of the halftime break. With 13:23 to go, Fordham gets the ball back down by just 1.
First off, Tucker, quite the kick there.
That was a booming punt. Traveled 50 yards in the air. Putting Will Hazlitt on notice a little bit, Brendan. He might have to go to work on the sideline a little bit and try to put some more into his next punt. Although Fordham fans hoping they don't see Will Hazlitt again for the rest of this game.
Fordham fans hoping they don't see him again for the rest of the season.
Right, naturally, but of course you want him to punt occasionally so he can maybe get that FCS Punter of the Year award. He's got to get the stats somewhere.
Unfortunate for the Fordham offense that those stats will be there.
We have a chance here before this Fordham drive starts to talk a little bit about the origins of the Ram Crusader Cup, the trophy that's awarded to the winner of this matchup every year. It has been awarded ever since 1951. Fordham and Holy Cross met 23 times between 1902 and 1951, interrupted by Fordham's football program briefly folding for the Second World War. It came back after World War II, and Holy Cross won twice in 1947 and 48 before Fordham's football program folded once again in 1954. But there were 4 games played between Holy Cross and Fordham between 1951 and 1954. a man by the name of Bill Walsh, who grew up a Fordham fan his entire life and then went to Holy Cross for his undergrad program as a class of 1952. He was working at Camp St. Regis, an athletic camp on Long Island, where then Fordham football head coach Ed Danowski was also working at the camp. When people working at the camp got to talking about Fordham and Holy Cross renewing their series, Ed Danowski famously said that the Rams would, quote, pin back the ears of the Crusaders. The Crusaders, of course, won that game in 1951, but that quote inspired Bill Walsh to create the trophy that now exists, the Ram Crusader Cup, that they've been playing for ever since.
And the trophy that sits right outside our room.
Gunnar Smith takes the first snap of this drive for Fordham from the shotgun and the 25-yard line. He hands it off up the middle for no gain.
Not much happening there on that run. Offensive line just not getting very much push. No holes open up.
No gain. 2nd and 10 from the 25.
2nd down and 10 after no gain there. 12:58 and ticking in the third quarter. Shotgun snap for Smith. He fakes the handoff and keeps it going to the right side. He gets across the 30 and then rolls forward towards the first down marker, but he's going to be marked down at the 34. And it'll bring up 3rd down and very short.
Tucker, normally when quarterbacks run, they're going to slide before coming into the nearest defender. Gunnar Smith isn't any other quarterback. He decides to juke out Cam Jones and pick up extra yards there.
Quick tempo here, and the handoff up the middle to Ricky Parks. He's plugged up at the line of scrimmage, but a little bit of forward progress. The line judge is holding up his fist to mark a 4th down there on the right hash, but
Tucker, that is really close.
That's going to be 4th and inches. And the offense is out on the field. Fordham lining up for a tush push. Here it comes, the snap. They push forward. They try to get it on 4th and inches. The ball is going to be marked, it looks like, on the 35, which was the line to gain. Seemingly they will give it. The judge in the backfield for the Fordham Rams pointing, indicating a 1st down. Of course, Holy Cross's D-line is all holding up their arms as if they got the stop. And they call an illegal substitution against Holy Cross on 4th down and 1. And that's going to give Fordham an automatic 1st down. So Fordham forces Holy Cross to panic, lining up for the tush push, and gets them to illegally substitute a player on defense, and it gives them the free 1st.
Well, Tucker, that's going to take all controversy out of whether he got the 1st down or not.
And it was close, too. He got plugged up right at the line to gain. Shotgun snap for Gunnar Smith, fakes the handoff, and now throws to the right side, and it is incomplete, says the sideline judge. Looked like Jaden Allen was the intended receiver, and maybe a trap over there with the turf. And that brings up 2nd and 10 from the Rams 40.
Yeah, play action there from Gunnar Smith. He holds that ball in Johan Lee Lewis's pocket for a long time. He has Carter on the right side wide open, just underthrows it.
Shotgun for Gunnar Smith, running back offset to the left. 3 receivers on the left side, 1 on the right, ball on the right hash. It's a handoff here to Johan Lee Lewis, and he has space across the 35 and now to the 50, up to the 45 of Holy Cross, and then pushed out of bounds at around the 43. Big 15-yard gain on the ground there for Johan Lee Lewis, and Fordham is into plus territory here with 11:27 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Tucker, you know what coaches love? Wide receivers who block, like Jabril Carter on that play.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun again. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. There's movement on the line of scrimmage. Fordham's offensive line, I believe the right tackle there reached out and tried to get a paw on the defensive player who jumped. For Fordham, the O-lineman was Colin Van Roy. And it's going to be a false start, though, against Fordham. And it's against Van Roy. So it's a really tough play there when a D-lineman jumps. The offensive line can reach out and touch him, but if the offensive line moves too much to get the touch off, it's a false start rather than an encroachment.
Well, Tucker, they moved, but I don't know if they jumped quite across the line on that play. Van Roy thought they did. It's really close. The refs did not think they crossed the line, though.
It'll be 1st down and 15 here, clock ticking under 11 minutes. Holy Cross leads 21-20, but Fordham trying to move this ball down the field. They're still in plus territory. Smith takes the shotgun snap, now looks to pass, fires to the left side into traffic, and it's caught at the 28, tackled at the 26. Ricky Gonzalez the second with another catch, making an impact on this game after missing last week against Colgate.
Carlo Cressetti, a linebacker there in coverage, in zone coverage. He dives and almost gets his fingertips on that ball, but the throw by Gunner just way too good.
And tempo here for the Rams. Gunnar Smith going to keep it after the fake handoff to Lewis, and he skips around a couple of defenders, gets across the 25-yard line, out of bounds at the 24, and that'll bring up second down and about 8.
That was a great job by this Holy Cross defense, setting the edge, not letting Gunnar Smith get outside of their furthest defender outside.
2-yard gain.
Clock still moving.
From the 24.
Going to tick under 10 minutes now here in the third quarter. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 3 receivers on the right, on the far side, 1 on the left, ball on the left hash. It's a handoff up the middle to Lewis, and he gets maybe 3, almost 4 yards before he's wrapped up by a handful of D linemen for Holy Cross.
Tucker, Coach Conlin talked to us about this, but getting the run game going, make it so it's not third and long. You got to stay ahead of the sticks, which is what that run there just did.
And Johan Lee Lewis is still in there at running back, taking a lot of reps at that position today for the Fordham Rams. 2 receivers on both sides with the ball on the left hash at the Holy Cross 22. Back to pass is Smith. Looks right now, looks over the middle. There's a flag after he finds Freeberg at the 15, diving forward for the 12-yard line. It will be a first down unless the flag brings it back, and it's going to be a holding against the offense. You hate to see a phantom holding there on a nice little play over the middle of Freeberg.
Yeah, great play. Well drawn up, man coverage. Freeberg beats his guy on the drag route and gets that first down, but the Fordham offensive line just getting a little too handsy with this Holy Cross defensive line.
So Fordham winds up behind the sticks once again. Ball is going to be placed on the Holy Cross 32-yard line. Excuse me, it's actually placed on the 31. And it's going to be third down here and about 15 yards to go. Approaching 9 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Gunnar Smith looking for a play call on the sideline. He has 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left, but there's another stoppage here. And this might be maybe a timeout?
Timeout on the field, but I didn't see, they didn't make a signal about who took the timeout or whether it's an official timeout.
A lot of whistles here, as it seems like the officials were just talking something over for a moment and are trying to get both teams back out on the field. Holy Cross and Fordham both crowded around their head coaches near either sideline as if it was a normal timeout, but the referees immediately started blowing their whistles and being like, hey, everybody come back. We're playing football right now. Let's go. Clock going to tick under 9 minutes to play here. Third down and quite long for the Fordham Rams. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun with Lewis offset to his right at running back. Trips right with a wide receiver on the left, and it's a handoff to Lewis, who goes through the left side across the 25 and now up to the 20. He gets a bunch of those yards back, if not all of the yards back, from the holding penalty. But that's going to bring up fourth down and 3.
That play was probably more intended to just pick up a few yards, make the field goal easier. They picked up so many yards it actually left Coach Conlin with a decision. It looks like he's going to elect to take the 3 points in the field goal, but he definitely had a decision to make there.
Joe Conlin trusting his place kicker, Bennett Henderson, who's already missed an extra point and a field goal today with the ball on the 18. The snap and the kick is up, and it's good. Bennett Henderson hits that time from 36 yards out. Bennett Henderson makes it 23-21. Fordham retakes the lead with 8 minutes and 2 seconds to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, 36-yarder there, Tucker, but that thing was probably good from 50. So much leg behind that one. All he needed was just to see one go in, and now he's got that under his belt.
23-21, 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. We're going to take a quick break, but you're listening to Fordham Football on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Spiro Ditas, WFUV class of 2001. WFUV is the epicenter of Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, men's and women's basketball, and of course, our iconic Saturday show, One on One. So keep your radios locked in right here, 90.7 FM, for all things WFUV sports.
Hey, welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field here on the beautiful and historic campus of Fordham University at the college at Rose Hill in the Bronx, New York. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. The Fordham Rams just retook the lead against their rivals, the Holy Cross Crusaders. It's now 23-21 Rams with 8 minutes, 2 seconds to go in the third quarter. And Brendan, it was a 1-point game into halftime. It's now a 2-point game after the Bennett Henderson made field goal from 36 yards away. But the thought comes to mind that the last 3 matchups between these two teams have been decided by a total of 6 points. Now just a 2-point gap between these two teams in the second half here. Think we might be running down to another close one, Brendan.
Yeah, it looks that way, Tucker. And these two teams, whether having a good year, having a bad year, no matter what the weather's like, no matter what time of day the game is played out, there's one thing you can count on, and it's going to be that it's a close game.
Yeah, and it's been very comfortable today. Ideal football conditions. The sun has been kind of blocked out with some overcast clouds most of the day, but the heat has certainly still been a factor. It's been in the 70s, mid to high 70s all day long, despite the general lack of sunlight.
And probably low to mid 80s in the press box up here, Tucker.
Oh, yeah. You think it's hot on the turf. It's even hotter in the press box. The kick from Bennett Henderson is away, and it's received at the 5-yard line. Now across the 15, up to the 20, and still running to the 25, and now the 30, up to the 40, still moving to the 45. He's still loose across the 50, and he might go to the 30 of Fordham, now to the 20, to the 10, and into the end zone for the touchdown. Elijah Kaysen, 95 yards on the kickoff return touchdown, but wait. There is a flag on the field back near the 50, and there is an injured Fordham Ram on the field. This could be a block in the back, Brendan.
This could very well be a block in the back, but oh my goodness, Kaysen with that return. It was just jukes left and right. Blindside block, Tucker. Gonna take it back, but still heck of a return there from Kaysen.
Chris Tuck II, the senior linebacker from New Rochelle, is the man down on the field for the Fordham Rams. He's still down, being checked by both Fordham and Holy Cross training staff. The flag is on the field at around the 50. I believe that's where the foul occurred, right around the 50. It's a 15-yard penalty from the spot on the blindside block as Tuck is back up and walking off the field under his own power, not helped by anyone. And so the drive instead for Holy Cross is going to start from their own 37. Oh, man, Brendan. Talk about dodging a bullet. The Fordham Rams certainly just dodged a really, really bad kickoff return. A great kickoff return for Holy Cross, but a bad return if you're the Fordham Rams.
Yeah, just the kickoff coverage was just subpar on that. It needs to be better, but Fordham team is just probably so happy about that.
And so the first play from scrimmage for the Crusaders, Swanson takes a shotgun snap and hands it off up the middle to Clairvaux, who gets a little more than 5 yards. Call it 8. It's going to bring up second down and 2. So efficient all day, Clairvaux has been.
Yeah, good run there by Clairvaux, and coming right after that return, I'm sure this Holy Cross offense is juiced up.
2 receivers stacked on the right, 1 on the left. Now 1 man in motion from right to left. Swanson takes the shotgun snap and hands it off to Clairvaux up the middle again. This time, though, he's wrapped up after a gain of just 1. It's going to bring out third down and 1.
Great job by Drew Manich there for this Fordham defense. The defensive back coming off the right side of the offensive line. He loops all the way around and makes the tackle short of the sticks.
Big 3rd down and 1 for Holy Cross. Fordham looking for another stop. Clock is under 7. Now it's 6:45. Shotgun for Swanson. 2 receivers on the right. 1 on the left comes down and collapses into the line of scrimmage. It'll be a handoff to Clairvaux. He goes up the middle. He's brought down at the line to gain, if not a half yard beyond it. That's going to be a 1st down for Holy Cross at their own 47.
Yeah, this Fordham defensive line here gets a good push against the Holy Cross offensive line. Just not that much yardage needed from Clairvaux there on that one, and he picks it up.
And so now Clairvaux comes out of the game. He'll get a breather. Joseph Williams, the freshman running back, out there for Holy Cross. And he puts him in motion to the right side, so empty backfield. Swanson takes the snap and fires to the left side immediately, finding his tight end streaking towards the sideline. It was Nathan Schillinger on the catch there for a medium gain to bring up 2nd down and short.
Yeah, Joseph Williams goes in motion before the play. Swanson is able to see its man coverage, just hits a simple out route about 6 yards down the field.
Cal Swanson, shotgun, running back offset to his right. 1 wide receiver to the far side on the right and 2 wide receivers on the short side to the left. Schillinger, the tight end, lined up on the left side of the offensive line. Swanson takes the snap, fakes the handoff, goes to Schillinger again on the exact same play, same route. He's tackled inbounds this time, but at the line of scrimmage for no gain. And that'll bring it up 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, great job. John Scott, the 3rd there, the guy who made the tackle, made it almost instantly as soon as that ball was caught, and it brings up 3rd down.
Another 3rd down. Fordham's defense forcing a 3rd down on the 2nd straight set of downs. Swanson in an empty backfield as he sends Slade wide out to the left on the far side. Back to pass and throwing left immediately, has a man who jukes around a defender at the 1st down line to gain. He gets it and 2 more across midfield now to the Fordham 41.
Tucker, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Another out route to the sticks, and they pick up the 1st down.
And another Fordham player is injured on the far side of the field. It looked like number 42, Jack Lowe, the graduate D lineman from Brisbane, Australia, is slow to get up. And he is also being checked by both teams' trainers. And he peels himself off of the turf, running under his own power, but with that right arm kept a little bit stiff as he runs off. Yeah, he keeps
holding near his wrist.
Keeps grabbing onto that wrist, maybe self-splinting. So you hope Jack Lowe is okay. The last thing the Fordham defense needs is more injuries. We already talked about it coming out of the halftime show. Fordham's defense is so banged up, but they've still been making some really good plays. Guys stepping up who are maybe 2 or 3 deep in the depth chart for the Fordham defense.
Yeah, so injured, and it's just so unfortunate for this Fordham defense, just the way that their players have been playing and then getting hurt. You had James Conway a couple weeks ago exits the game with a hamstring issue, and last week he was limited. It seems like today he's back full time, but it's not just the injuries, but it's seeming that the injuries are coming to a lot of these big players, a lot of these captains for this team.
Fordham up to 119 yards in the ground game today. Ricky Parks, a major part of that with 57 yards on 7 attempts. Meanwhile, Johan Lee Lewis has been slowly gaining more and more yards as he continues to get a lot of the looks at running back in this game. Also has 7 carries in this game for Fordham and has gained 45 yards. So between Parks averaging 7.7 per carry and Lewis averaging 6.4 for carry, Fordham's run game, I would say, is certainly a little bit more established than it has been previously in this season.
Yeah, and it's really nice to see, too, is just pounding the rock, running the ball up the middle, on the outside, any way they can. It's nice to see them finally be able to use it effectively.
So 1st down and 10, 4 minutes and 35 seconds and ticking here from the Fordham 41. Swanson Fires over the middle. He has a man. He's hit immediately, but making the catch there, surviving the contact, is Ty Curran. And that's another first down. It's about a 14, 15-yard gain on the pass play there, down to the Fordham 26.
Good play call there from Holy Cross. You fake the swing pass to the running back out to the right, and you find Curran in between zones up the middle of the field.
Swanson in the shotgun, running back offset to his right, 2 receivers on the right side and 2 on the left with the ball in the middle of the field. Takes the snap, fires to his right, and that's going to be caught once again. They go back to Ty Curran.
Pass intended for Ty Curran.
And it's
broken up by Nate Lindsey.
It is incomplete, so looked like he may have held on to that one, but did not survive the ground this time. It is a dropped ball for Curran, and that brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, fantastic coverage there. Amari Brooks there, the guy on that one. Man coverage. He's just covering a slant route, breaks down hard on it, and gets his hand in there.
3 minutes 52, clock is stopped. 23-21, Fordham leads, but Holy Cross driving. It'll be a handoff here on the attempted reverse to Elijah Carson, but great play firing through the offensive line to make the tackle was Tyler Davis for the Fordham Rams. A huge tackle for loss to bring up 3rd down and 17.
Yeah, the freshman defensive lineman there sets the edge perfectly, does not allow anything outside of him, and makes the tackle deep in the backfield.
Holy Cross tried a little bit of motion to get Elijah Kaysen a look on the handoff, but he was contained, and now a huge 3rd down here for this banged-up Fordham defense, trying to get a stop with a 2-point lead. Empty backfield for Swanson. 3 receivers on the right, 2 on the left. Back to pass, throws quickly, underthrown, and incomplete. Receiver might have been out of bounds anyway. Intended target was Max Mosey, but incomplete, and now that brings up 4th down.
Whether it was intended or not actually a bad throw, as Swanson got hit in the backfield. It looked like a back shoulder kind of throw to Mosey, trying to get him to come back on that fade route just a little bit and be just short of the sticks. That one just doesn't fall their way.
4th down and 17, offense still on the field for Holy Cross. Swanson in the shotgun, running back to his left. 2 receivers on the right on the far side, and 1 is Mosey on the left side, the short side. Ball is on the left hash at the 33, and there's movement on the line. It's Mosey. The wide receiver on the short side moved before the snap, and that is a false start, backing him up an extra 5 yards to make this 4th down even more difficult. And maybe now they bring out the punt unit.
Tucker, what I think they were trying to do there is just try and see if they can't make someone on Fordham jump, try and get a free play out of it. You're on that, in that gray area where you're kind of out of field goal range, but it's really long to go for it. I think that they were going to take the delay a game anyway, so the false start just does the exact same thing.
And that tackle for loss turns into a major stop by the Fordham Rams with a 2-point lead and a stopped clock at just over 3 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. The punt is away from Ethan Moss. It's going to land at the 11, take a Holy Cross bounce, and it dies in play at the 6-yard line. Excellent punt there from Moss to pin Fordham near their own 5-yard line. But the Fordham offense will come back out on the field now with a chance to go up by multiple scores.
Yeah, this Fordham offense tries to go back-to-back here. The field goal on the last drive, a chance to go down and make it a 2-possession game here, Tucker. Big opportunity here for the offense.
Out comes Gunnar Smith to lead his Fordham Rams. Ricky Parks will be the back to start the drive. Smith is 12 for 18 with 225 yards on the day, a pair of touchdowns to his name, 1 passing and 1 rushing. Takes a shotgun snap, and it's a handoff to Ricky Parks, who goes up the middle, breaks a tackle, but then is brought down after a gain of just 1, bringing up 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, nothing going there on that play. Fordham, you're backed up almost against your own end zone. You kind of got to run the ball, try and get some space where you can afford to pass the ball.
Shotgun for Gunnar Smith again, running back to his left. 1 receiver on the right and 2 on the left, and there's a flag on the snap. It's going to be likely a false start here for the Fordham Rams with not much room to back up.
Yeah, it's going to do half the distance there. Not something you love to see, but it's okay. It's not going to back you up too much. You're already backed up against your own goal line. This is one of those places where there's an argument. Can you afford penalties? Can you not?
So now stuck on their own 4-yard line.
Ball on the 4-yard line. 2nd and 13.
Plenty of players in the box on defense for Holy Cross. Fordham trying to break out of their own end. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, standing in his own end zone. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. And getting back to the original line of scrimmage that time is Ricky Parks.
Yeah, that one just to get you some breathing room. I'd be interested to see how much they trust Gunnar here to throw the ball and not take a sack. He's done well with that today.
3rd down and 9 from inside their own 10. Shotgun for Smith, 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Fakes the handoff, so he will throw. Throws to the right side, but it's just overthrown. He had a man. Jack Benton was wide open on a nice route, on a little curl just past the 20. But it's incomplete, and that is going to bring up 4th down, and Will Hazlitt will have to punt from a very precarious position.
It looked like Gunnar Smith and Jack Benton just on different pages there. Benton at the top of his route broke it and came back towards the inside. It looked like Gunnar Smith thought he was going to come back towards the outside, so that throw just sails wide and out of bounds.
The return man for Holy Cross, Max Mosey, is standing on Fordham's 45, so unless Hazlitt really puts his leg into this one, it's going to be some good field position for Holy Cross. Hazlitt's boot is away. It's received at the 49 of Fordham by Mosey, and he has to bounce it all the way around the outside. He still tries to cut back and now continues to the left side, and it looks like there's going to be a block. And whoa! More physical contact on the far side of the field after the play. A lot of flags down on the field as things just got very, very chippy between these two rivals with 1:22 to go in the 3rd.
Things are getting very chippy. It looked like during the play could have been a block in the back or something of that sort. But then after the play, a Holy Cross player pushes Michael Thorne, the D lineman for Fordham. And Thorne, he's been taking some acting classes because, yes, he did get pushed, but he did a great job selling it.
There was a bit of a sell on that play, I think we can admit. But a lot going on over there on the far side of the field. This would be the second blindside block or some sort of illegal block on special teams against Holy Cross in this game, assuming it's against Holy Cross, and it likely was. They were on the return.
That's what I'm imagining, knowing the situation where they had everyone come back. Or a hold.
Holding.
That works too.
So 10 yards for the holding.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Receiving team. Number 38, his first of the game. 15-yard penalty will also be enforced. First down.
Interesting there. He pointed towards. So it's both penalties are on Holy Cross, the hold and the unsportsmanlike conduct. That's going to back up Holy Cross significantly. They were going to get the ball in plus territory to start this drive, but instead they'll be starting from their own territory now after the 10-yard and the 15-yard penalty.
So Tucker, earlier in the game, Holy Cross had a possession where they started at the 50-yard line because of 2 Fordham penalties. Now it's flipped. They were going to have good field position. Now they're backed up because of 2 of their own penalties. Both those drives, teams kind of shooting themselves in the foot a little bit.
And it's just like Joe Moglia told us during halftime. You got to limit the mistakes, and then that is a winning formula. Fordham limiting the mistakes so far in the second half. Holy Cross getting burned by their own mistakes right now. They'll start this drive on their own 34, 1:22 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 23-21 is the lead for the Rams, seeking their first win against Holy Cross since 2016. And there's a bit of a timeout here on the field as the football is going to be moved.
Is it a respotting, like recounting?
The ball is moved up to the 49-yard line here.
Fordham coaches are not happy about this. They're talking to the official on the sideline.
Yeah,
Neither are the fans.
No, the fans aren't happy. Joe Conlin looking for an explanation out of the sideline judge here. Not really sure how this wound up the way that it is. because Mosey was brought down around the 45-yard line of the Fordham Rams. 25 yards worth of penalties should have them well behind the 50.
Even that, the flag that came flying out for the hold looked like it came just about in between the 50 and the Fordham 45.
A really odd situation here. And they're reviewing the previous play. This is very unorthodox, Brendan. It seems like they're going to be taking a look at the play to see both where the ball was when the play ended and perhaps taking a look at the penalties as well. They might be looking to see if the hold actually happened, or maybe if that unsportsmanlike is actually going to count. This is a really odd scenario.
Here's what I'm thinking. It's, like you said, either they're reviewing for spot of the ball, where was the hold, where did that occur, where should the ball be counted back from. Another thing they could be looking at, I think, is the unsportsmanlike, and was it enough for more of a penalty, for maybe the player getting thrown out of the game or something of that sort.
So you don't think there's a way that they could possibly, because you mentioned it yourself, there was a bit of showmanship on the sideline from the Fordham player who went down to draw that unsportsmanlike in the first place. So is there a possibility that they retract the unsportsmanlike for a little bit of embellishment?
No, I don't see that being a possibility. The push was still there. I don't see them waving that flag off.
And I thought I saw a flag for before that interaction as well, because there was plenty of shoving going on that sideline and plenty of unsportsmanlike conduct all around. But then a flag definitely came in when that Fordham player went down, seemingly from that push, but although they probably should have been able to stay
Of course it was from the push, Tucker. Of course it was.
Maybe he tripped, who knows? But a minute 22 left on the clock here in the third quarter as we await the referees taking a second look at the previous play. We won't step away as they could be back with a verdict relatively soon. And it seems like the two referees are here on the short side, not looking at a video monitor, but are just kind of talking it over with each other, maybe an earpiece.
It seems that what I think happens usually in these situations is, well, in the professionals, they have to call to New York, and New York comes in. I think there's someone kind of watching this game in a review center who's in their ears right now.
And it seems like Holy Cross has now conceded and moved back to a further spot in their own territory. It's not the same spot of the ball as before, but it is about 15 yards behind where they were going to place the ball after they moved it back towards the 50. So the ball is at the 34.
The unsportsmanlike conduct penalty was on number 48, Holy Cross. The 15-yard penalty for that is also excess. First down, Holy Cross.
So I think they called the unsportsmanlike on the wrong guy for Holy Cross. Or no, so they just switched it back to 38. So it is the original call. They confirmed the unsportsmanlike and just figured out where the unsportsmanlike occurred so they could move the ball from there. Assumingly the 15-yard penalty overtaking the 10-yard holding. So now the ball on the 34-yard line of Holy Cross. Cal Swanson starts his team's drive with a minute 22 to go in the third quarter and a 2-point deficit. Rams defense will be looking for another stop. So they got a big one. Holy Cross driving inside of Fordham's 30. But then Fordham got the stop. And it's a handoff on the first play here, but tripping and falling at the line of scrimmage was the running back on that play. Was Nayoti Pooney, who couldn't quite get beyond the handoff there, and so it's a loss of 1.
Yeah, there was a hole there for Pooney on the backside of this offensive line. He just stumbles over his own feet and isn't even able to get back to the line of scrimmage here.
So second down and 11. Swanson in the shotgun, running back to his right. No receivers on the left with 2 on the right side. Ball on the left hash. It's a handoff up the middle, and this time he goes untouched through the line of scrimmage, still fighting near the 40. But he's brought down at the 39-yard line. and that's going to bring up a third down and middle, call it about 5.
Yeah, great balance on that run from Pooney. He has a guy draped over the lower half of his body, holding one of his legs, but he's able to hobble himself and pick up an extra couple yards.
20 seconds left in this third quarter. Holy Cross might try to get one more play off before the end of the quarter. Could also let it run. Empty backfield, but now Slade moves over from the left side. 2 receivers on the left, 2 on the right. Shotgun for Swanson. Takes the snap with 5 seconds to go. Throws it to his right, and he has a man, but he's tackled immediately at the first down marker, and they're going to mark him there. Signal is for the sticks to move, and so the ball will be placed at the 44. First down for Holy Cross, but that brings us to the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, great hands catch there from Mosey. He has to extend all the way out, gets that one with his fingertips and picks up the first down.
23-21, the Fordham Rams have the lead. Holy Cross driving from their own 44 with a first down and 10. We will be back for the start of the fourth quarter, but first, we send you back to the Rose Hill studio for the one-on-one scoreboard update with Isabella Terracini. Isabella?
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Taking a look at New York City sports, rookie QB Jackson Dart will be making his first start tomorrow at MetLife against the Los Angeles Chargers and their best red zone defense in the league at 1 p.m. tomorrow on CBS. Monday Night Football features the Jets and the Dolphins at Hard Rock in Miami for a 7:15 kickoff, both teams looking for their first win of the season. Hockey season is just around the corner, and the Rangers-Islanders rivalry is back on Monday, September 29th, for its preseason showdown at UBS. As for Major League Baseball, the Yankees are in the top of the 9th inning against Baltimore Orioles with Schlitter on the mound. It's 6-1 Yankees still fighting to win the AL East as the season comes to an end. And later today, the Mets are looking to even their series with a win against the Marlins in Miami with first pitch at 4:10. For the one-on-one scoreboard update, I'm Isabella Terracini.
Welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field. Here on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York, Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you as we're just about ready to get started for the final quarter in regulation. It is the 63rd meeting between the Fordham Rams and the Holy Cross Crusaders. Fordham currently leads 23-21, courtesy of the only score so far in the second half, a 36-yard field goal off the boot of Bennett Henderson. And so, the Holy Cross offense driving with the ball as we last left off. The Fordham defense has been playing very well in this second half, held the Holy Cross scoreless in the third quarter. Not something that we've seen all season from this Fordham defense in the second half, Brendan.
No, it hasn't. It's a tale of two halves right now. The second half has been so different than the first half. Low-scoring defensive battle, and it's great to see as a Fordham football fan that if you're watching this product on the field, the defense is playing out of its mind right now.
And it's not even all of the first-string guys stepping up. It's a lot of second- or third-string guys with how many injuries on that this Fordham defense has to deal with. Still getting a lot of big-time plays out of guys who don't usually start or don't get as much playing time as they're seeing now. But now to start the fourth quarter, the final 15 minutes in regulation. From the 44-yard line of Holy Cross, Swanson is in the shotgun. Running back offset to his left. Ball is placed on the right hash mark. No receivers on the right and 2 receivers on the left on the far side.
Some sort of delay here, Tucker.
Now the referee's ready to start play again with the whistle. Motion immediately with a tight end moving left to right. Swanson takes the snap, hands it off. Goes to the right side, but it's plugged up before they get back to the line of scrimmage. Joseph Williams on the carry, that time for Holy Cross.
Outside zone there from Holy Cross. Jalen Dawson does such a good job getting upfield on that outside and forcing the running back inside to the other Fordham defenders.
No gain on the play.
Fordham's defense has done a great job keeping outside contained throughout this game, and it's really bottled up the run game for Holy Cross. Empty backfield now as Slade moves from the backfield wide out to the left. 3 receivers on the left side and 2 on the right. Empty backfield for Swanson. He takes the snap, looks to his right, fires to the right, and it is incomplete as he fires the ball a little bit behind his tight end, Nathan Schillinger, running a little curl.
Yeah, immediate pressure there. Fordham sends an all-out blitz. They're just trying to get at Swanson. Swanson sees this and has to get this ball out quickly. He's just inaccurate with this pass.
Another 3rd down and long situation. 3rd and 10 from their own 44. Empty backfield look again for Cal Swanson. The sophomore quarterback trying to put his team back in front. And Holy Cross has to burn a timeout here with 14 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. That could be really costly, but clearly they were not on the same page going into that 3rd down.
Yeah, they got out there, and Fordham had 6 guys walked up on the line of scrimmage. Holy Cross had everybody spread out around the field. They had no one to account for that 6th rusher. It would have been a free rusher. They want to take a timeout, go back over things, and try and figure out a game plan for what Fordham's going to do here.
It'll be a quick timeout here. Whistle's already blowing to get players back out onto the field. But a huge opportunity for the Fordham Rams here to get another stop against this Holy Cross offense and try to go down and extend their lead. Still only leading by 2. The Fordham Rams up 23-21. Holding on for dear life as they try to find a win against Holy Cross for the first time in almost 10 years. 3rd and 10, empty backfield for Swanson. 2 receivers on the right and 3 on the left. Takes the snap, and he's sacked. The ball is out. The ball's on the turf. Terrence Jones II didn't even know the ball was out after the sack. And quite frankly, I don't think he cared. Holy Cross recovers, but it's 4th down and way too long. Out comes the punt unit. A huge play on 3rd down for the Rams.
What a hit by Terrence Jones II. Absolutely clobbered quarterback back in that pocket. But Fordham pre-play shows 7 guys on the line. Half of them drop back in coverage, but this offensive line doesn't know who is going to come at the quarterback.
And kind of an interesting development there. The quarterback in the game for Holy Cross was actually number 12, Braden Graham, on that play, who got clocked. And it may have been the first play that he ran in the game. I believe it was. We've been seeing Swanson all day. He comes in for one play, does Graham, and he gets blown up and loses the football. But there's movement at the line of scrimmage before the punt here for Holy Cross.
It looks like Fordham may have been a bit too eager there.
And it is offsides against the defense, says the referee, Alexander Randolph. Moves Holy Cross up 5 yards and gives punter Ethan Moss a bit more space to pin Fordham deep in their own end. Jack Freeberg back for the return for Fordham. And the snap, it's a little high, but Moss makes the catch. Punts it downfield. It lands at the 26 and takes an unfavorable bounce for Holy Cross. Fordham wins about 2 yards back on the roll, and they'll start the drive from the 27.
Yeah, Freeberg's had to let a lot of punts bounce tonight. They're just, whether it's short of him, way too far to either side, it's just these punts are not going to him, and that's a great job by this Holy Cross special teams unit, not getting Freeberg the ball where he can just move in space. But Freeberg having to track it and play smart football on these punt returns.
And so Gunnar Smith having another fairly decent performance, trying to add to his numbers with 13-13 to go in the game. It's a keeper on the first play of the drive for Gunnar Smith. He moves around one man and gets around a nice block again by Jabril Carter up past the 35 to the 37-yard line.
I was about to shout him out again, Tuck. You said it, Jabril Carter. Great job staying with his block down the field. It allows Gunnar Smith to pick up an extra few yards at the end of his run.
2nd down and maybe a half yard here for the line to gain. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, running back to his right, trips left, and a wide receiver on the right. And it's a play action, goes to Jabril Carter on the right. Quick little strike there for maybe 5 yards, but a first down nonetheless for the Fordham Rams.
That's what happens when you block, Tucker. You get rewarded for doing the dirty work. Jabril Carter there with the first down reception.
Ball on the Fordham, 41-yard line. First down and 10, 12:20 to go here in the fourth quarter. Fordham up by 2 with the football. Smith in the shotgun, 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. It's a handoff up the middle. Bouncing outside is Lewis, breaks a tackle, and now up to the 49. A knee was down at the 49 as he lunged for the 50. But a great first down running play there from Lewis to pick up 9.
Yeah, really shifty run there from Lewis. He had to wiggle through a couple of different gaps to find some space, and he did, and picked up some big yardage.
Ball placed on the 50 here, second down and 1, ball on the right hash, 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right, running back offset to the left of Gunnar Smith in the gun. Play action over the middle, he has a man at the 30 and brought down at the 25. Jack Freeberg on the connection, but he looks to be a little bit banged up there. He goes down, does Jack Freeberg, after the 25-yard connection.
Yeah, that is a worrying sight. Freeberg's the leading receiver for this Fordham offense. He's came into this game leading the team in receptions, receiving yards, tied for the lead, and receiving touchdowns. He's been Gunnar Smith's go-to guy. You just hate to see him go down here.
He got up after he was tackled for a 25-yard gain and then was grabbing his face mask. It wasn't great body language once he got up, and then as I was calling it out, I saw him go down to the turf. He's back up on his feet now, getting some water in. But it seems like he might be able to stay in this game.
He looks fine. He looks like he's all right.
Helmet back on, which is a good sign as well. But after the injury timeout, we will step away very briefly. We'll be back in a moment with more Fordham football. You're listening to 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
Hey everyone, it's Lydia Perner.
And Grace McCarran.
And we are 2 of your hosts for 5 on 3.
WFUV's best, if only, hockey podcast.
With all the storylines in the tri-state area, you won't want to miss an episode.
How will Matthew Schaefer fit in with the Islanders?
And will the Rangers have a bounce-back season under Mike Sullivan?
Finally, will the Devils be able to stay healthy and hit their full potential?
Stick with us all season for all things NHL and Will Cooley updates on WFUV Sports.
And we welcome you back inside Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field here on the campus of Fordham University. The old rivalry between the Fordham Rams and the Holy Cross Crusaders renewed in 2025. We're in the fourth quarter, and Fordham has a lead over their rivals 23-21, seeking their first win since 2016. Brendan, we just saw Jack Freeberg get a little bit banged up, and he's been Gunnar Smith's #1 target in that wide receiver room this year. But Fordham's run game has also been well established in this game, so I feel that Freeberg being a little banged up doesn't hurt Fordham as much as we would expect it here.
No, it's not going to hurt as much as you kind of expect. Gunnar Smith has been spreading the ball around a lot today, too. He hasn't been really force-feeding Freeberg at all, but Freeberg looks fine. He still has his helmet. He's on the sideline. He did not go into the injury tent, so it appears he will return later.
First down and 10 for the Fordham Rams. Now on the 26-yard line of Holy Cross, trying to extend their lead. 11:20, the clock moving. It's a handoff to Ricky Parks, and he gets free past the 20. Now across the 15, he runs a man over at the 10, and he's brought down at the 5. Ricky Parks, a man on a mission on that run. He wanted the end zone, but he sets up Fordham first and goal from the 5.
Weight room Ricky Parks with the massive hit, lowers his shoulder, runs straight through defenders, and puts his Fordham team in prime position to score.
A 20-yard rush there sets Fordham up here as they give the ball back to Parks. He's going to try and take it all the way to the outside on the right. There's a flag on the play, though, as there might be a little bit of holding. Ricky Parks trying to turn an inside zone into an outside zone on that play.
He did, trying to bounce that one out, but it seems like this offensive line, again, just a little too handsy, trying to open up gaps for Parks to run through.
And so that's going to back up the Fordham Rams just a little bit here. chewing into that 20-yard rush from Ricky Parks, but man, Parks having a day after Fordham struggled to get anything going on the ground in the first 4 weeks. Ricky Parks now on 10 carries is up to 82 yards on the day, plus that touchdown.
Yeah, he's having a fantastic day on the ground today.
Gunnar Smith with now Johan Lee Lewis to his left. The snap is botched, but he gets the handoff to Lewis, and he gets up to the 10-yard line. Really broken play there. Fordham lucky to get any positive yards on that one.
Unintentional drop there, but Lee Lewis making the most of the opportunity he got there, picks up the ball, finds the smallest hole he can on that offensive line, gets through there and picks up a few yards.
6-yard gain.
2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left, ball on the left hash on the 10-yard line for the Fordham Rams. Shotgun for Gunnar Smith. He hands it off to Lewis again, but he's wrapped up by 2 or 3 Crusaders at the 10-yard line once again. That's going to bring up 3rd down and goal here from 10 yards out.
Yeah, nowhere to go there for Lewis. Interesting play call here from Fordham. The run game has been working, so I understand pound the rock, but now you're left with a 3rd and long. It's just hindsight's the best foresight. After that play, you wish you ran something else, but going into that play, the run game has been working.
Under 10 minutes to go here in regulation. 9 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Lewis offset to the left of Gunnar Smith. Takes the shotgun snap, and he's sacked at the 20-yard line. He can't quite get away. He got the first guy to shake off, but then 2 more from the defensive line get home for Holy Cross, and Fordham is backed up to the 20-yard line now on 4th down, and here comes the field goal unit.
Carlo Crocetti there, the first guy in there, the linebacker for this Holy Cross defense. The first guy in there and gets to Gunnar Smith. He gets his arm across Gunnar Smith's chest and brings him down for the sack.
Bad time for Gunnar Smith to take his first sack of the afternoon. It's going to be about a 35-yard attempt here from Bennett Henderson. He's already good from 36. And the snap, the kick is up, and it is good. Bennett Henderson, 2 for 3 on field goals on the afternoon. And Fordham extends their lead 26-21, now out of reach of a field goal, but still within range of a touchdown.
Yeah, perfect kick there from Henderson. Great spin, great distance, great accuracy right down the middle of the uprights. And you mentioned it, Tucker, out of range from a field goal, but now looking at this score, 26-21, how much do you really want those 4 points that you missed out on?
Yeah, 4 points would have been all the difference from that first half, Brendan. The difference here between a 9-point game and a 5-point game is absolutely everything. But the way that this Fordham defense has been playing, they've really stepped up to the plate against this Holy Cross team. Player after player has gone down from the first or second squad for this Fordham defense, but so much depth on this defense is really showing in this game.
It is showing, and the defense is playing great, especially down the stretch here in the second half. Every drive, every possession they've been out there, they've gotten a stop, and they've looked really good, stood really strong and tall.
And so Fordham will kick it off once again, but we will step away for just a moment. 8:28 to go here in the fourth quarter. 26-21 is the lead for the Fordham Rams. You're listening to Fordham Football on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.
I'm Kurt Sippel, telling you to tune into One on One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. Catch us live every Saturday on our WFUV Sports YouTube Live from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and later on 90.7 WFUV from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We break down the week's latest headlines with our collection of tri-state area beat reporters, along with interviews with your favorite athletes and media personalities. WFUV is your home to talk all things New York sports.
Welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field here on the campus of Fordham University. Tucker Austin, Brendan Shorey with you. 8:28 left here in the fourth quarter. The Fordham Rams leading the Holy Cross Crusaders 26-21 in the battle for the Ram Crusader Cup, a trophy that has not been here in the Bronx since 2016. Henderson kicks it off after he made a 35-yard field goal to extend the lead to 5 for the Rams. Sends it through the end zone for a touchback. And so Holy Cross getting the ball once again. But this version of a drive, Brendan, is where this offense has struggled the most this year.
This is where their offense has struggled the most. Coming into today's game, they had never scored a touchdown on a drive that started naturally, whether that's a kickoff return or a punt return. They hadn't scored a touchdown off any of those drives in the first 3 games of the season.
And so Cal Swanson, I wonder if he's back out there. And it is Graham again. So clearly Cal Swanson must have gotten injured in some capacity, because they've moved on to their second quarterback, Braden Graham here. First play from scrimmage on this drive goes up the middle. James Conway with the stop. 2nd down and 9 here. Clock is going to tick under 8 minutes to play with Graham still at quarterback.
And Tucker, I don't see Swanson on the sideline anywhere.
Clairvaux is the running back, offset to the right of Graham. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Graham drops back to pass, looks left, now throws left. He has a man. It's Mosey, but he's wrapped up and brought down immediately. Forward progress gets him to the 31 and brings up 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, great job by Justin Johnson, the DB, in coverage there. He takes away the deeper corner route, makes Graham check it down to the hitch route, and rallies and makes the tackle.
And that brings up
3rd down once again. Fordham fans getting loud here. Clock ticking under 7:15 to go. Fordham up 26-21. 2 receivers on the right, 2 on the left. Ball on the left hash. The snap, he looks left and throws left. Does Graham. He has a man. It's Slade, but he works his way out of bounds. Not before getting the first down, though. Ball will be placed on the 36, 1st down and 10.
Boogie Owens, the safety for Fordham, was coming on the blitz there, and he was just so close to getting his hands on that ball and knocking it down.
Braden Graham, 6'1", 215 sophomore from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, takes over for Swanson, and he hands this one off to Slade up the middle, but swallowed in the backfield for a 1-yard loss. Several Fordham defenders got through on that play.
Yeah, this Fordham defense is likely going to commit to the run game. You got a backup quarterback in. Make him beat you. Make him be the guy that makes the plays. Don't let any of these running backs in this big, deep running back room beat you.
Max Mosey and Elijah Kaysan were both on the same side of the field for a moment. Now Kaysan moves from left to right. 2 receivers on the right side and Mosey on the left for Holy Cross. It's shotgun for Graham, running back offset to his right. Big pressure from Fordham as they hand it off up the middle. Clairvaux nearly getting the first down there. He gets a big pickup, 9.5 maybe, and he'll bring up 2nd down and short.
Yeah, great job by that offensive line. You have a guard pulling and lead blocking there for the running back, and able to pick up a decent gain and make it 3rd and very short.
It's going to be 3rd down and about 1, maybe less. Tight end wide to the left and 2 wide outs to the right. Now the tight end crashes to the line of scrimmage. Running back offset to the right of Graham in the gun. Graham takes the snap, hands it off to Clairvaux, who bangs up the middle and up to midfield, past the line to gain. So another 1st down. Clock is going to tick towards 5 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, left side of that offensive line that time just got so much push. Opened up just enough space for Clairvaux to pick up the first.
1st down and 10 from the 50. 2 receivers on the right and 2 on the left. Graham takes the snap, fires immediately to his left to Max Mosey, who makes the catch for a 5-yard gain. Quick, successive punches here from the Holy Cross offense, trying to move down the field and get a score with time still on the clock.
Yeah, just little jabs is what they're throwing right now, Tucker. Just trying to pick up yards on every play, make it stay ahead of the chains and make it more manageable when it comes to 3rd downs.
maybe looking to punch it into the end zone, giving Fordham as little time as possible. Of course, they can't settle for a field goal and tie it. Graham takes the snap, hands it off, and they go to the left side this time, but not much is there for Joseph Williams. He gets about 2, brings up another third down, but another very manageable situation here.
James Conway, just such a great player for this Rams defense, takes on multiple offensive linemen on that play to allow the rest of his team to make the play.
Conway, with 3 solo tackles and 13 assists, is up to 16 on the day. Over 500 now total tackles for his entire career, as this play is a little check down to the running back.
Pass complete to Joseph Williams.
Joseph Williams making the catch there on the short play to bring up third down. Maybe fourth down here, as he was a little bit short, and I think it will be 4th down and 1.
Yeah, that play, just trying to get Joseph Williams the ball in space, hope that he can reach across that chain where the line is for the first down. He comes up just short, and we got a 4th and very short, Tucker.
Big 4th down. Fans for the Fordham Rams and for the Holy Cross Crusaders coming to their feet here. And there's going to be a timeout called, I believe. Holy Cross, no. They're actually reviewing the previous play to see if Holy Cross got the first down. And while they take a look at this one, we're going to step away for just a moment. 3:14 on the clock in the 4th quarter. Holy Cross driving in a 4th and 1 situation. Fordham with the lead, 26-21. We'll be right back with more Fordham football on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
Hi, I'm Ashley Went, one of your hosts for FUVFC, WFUV's best, if not only, podcast for all things soccer. From insight from beat reporters for all of New York soccer clubs to breakdowns of all the major leagues and events from the international pitch to right here in the States. Tune in weekly as we discuss all things soccer on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts. See you next week on FUVFC, a product of WFUV.
Welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field, where this game is really coming down to the wire. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. The Fordham Rams leading their rival Holy Cross Crusaders 26-21. Holy Cross has the football. Based on the last call on the field, it's 4th and 1 from the Fordham 41, but the referee's now returning from some deliberation in reviewing the previous play.
Interested to see how they rule this. The ruling on the field was 4th and 1. They only overturn that if there is sufficient evidence that he did reach across that first down line.
And for him to get there, they'd probably move this football to the 40. We'll listen to hear what Alexander Randolph has to say.
It appears they're keeping the football at the 41.
Yeah, don't seem to be too keen on moving it.
It seems both teams preparing for a 4th and 1.
Fordham sideline certainly preparing for a 4th down. They are jumping on the line of scrimmage at the sideline, trying to inject some energy into this game. Now the fans rising to their feet again. This time it's for real. 4th down and 1, 26-21 Fordham. Holy Cross trying to stay alive. 3:14 to go in the game. Holy Cross backs off of the line of scrimmage for a moment here. Ruling on the field upheld there, the announcement from Alexander Randolph. And now, Holy Cross with a backup quarterback, Braden Graham, in the game. Clairvaux in at running back. It's a handoff to Clairvaux. He goes up the middle, and he has the first down and a couple more. Big play there by Holy Cross, and their drive continues, now ticking under 3 minutes to go in the 4th.
That play, Holy Cross was in pistol formation, When you have that, you have no clue as a defense which way that running back is going to run. It adds another element to the complexity that this offense is showing.
Now fresh set of downs for the Crusaders. 2 receivers on the left and 1 far out to the right. Ball on the left hash. Back to pass is Graham. Pressured immediately. He fires down the field. And it's into the hands, but then out of the hands of the intended receiver. That time, believe it was Ty Curran again who just couldn't bring that one in. Incomplete pass, and clock stopped at 2 minutes and a half.
Tyler Davis, the freshman defensive lineman who made a big play earlier in this game with immediate pressure on Braden Graham in the backfield. Looked like it could have possibly been a hold. It looked like maybe a lineman grabbed the back of his shirt, but the immediate pressure forced Graham to get rid of it.
Braden Graham in the shotgun, puts Max Mosey in motion from left to right. It's a handoff up the middle to Clairvaux, and he is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage and brought down. Big play there from multiple Fordham defenders. James Conway involved. First man there was Sam Berkeley, who seems like he may have been a little banged up. He's coming right out of the game right now. But big play by Berkeley at the line of scrimmage to bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to mention, Tucker. First guy there wraps up Clairvaux and just starts driving him backwards.
3rd down and 8 to go. And a timeout is called here. It's a timeout called by, I believe, Holy Cross. Though there's not much indication.
Fans, we thank you for joining us.
Yeah, not much indication. I didn't see them come out and wave and point. Well, they did the wave, they didn't do the point.
This is really interesting again because both teams went out onto the field as if it was an unusual timeout, but then coaches started trying to whisk players off of the field.
All the refs meeting together at the line of scrimmage.
Brendan, we're so wrapped up in this game and how electric it's gotten down the end that we completely forgot about the 2-minute timeout. So it's the 2-minute timeout, and that is the reason why the game is stopped. Unbelievable. We're so engulfed in all of the energy of this game, this entire drive.
Tucker.
A 4th down conversion by Holy Cross. Now more big stops from Fordham in a 3rd and long. This has been the most exciting Fordham game of this season so far, Brendan.
Tucker, I thought there was a lot more time left. I'm not going to lie. I was not prepared for just 2 minutes of game time left. This has definitely been the most exciting game that Fordham has been in this season, most exciting game I've called this season. The closest game at this point to this season.
Unbelievable performance overall from the Fordham offense, probably their best performance in a single game all season, especially in terms of total yards. You look at the yardage spread too. They've gotten 254 in the air, but 160 on the ground. Finally getting that run game to start churning and really picking up big yards in the run game. They're outgaining Holy Cross in rushing and in passing. But right now, it's going to be the defense that has to make a big play here. WFUV's own Dom Sansone standing on the bench, getting the Fordham fans on their feet for a huge play here on 3rd down.
Massive 3rd down here, down 5, Holy Cross. You cannot settle for 3. You only have 2 timeouts as well. You don't have the full 3. If you turn this ball over on downs, Fordham will be able to drain a lot of clock. Big possession, big play right here, Tucker.
Fordham sideline starting to sway here, starting to move. Plenty of noise here at Moglia Stadium. The hill is filled, and it's 3rd down and 8. Braden Graham in the shotgun, empty backfield. 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Fordham has 5 on the line, they bring 6. Graham fires over the middle, it's incomplete, but there's a flag. This could be pass interference. He got there very, very soon. If this is DPI, this may give a 1st down, although it doesn't seem to be.
It does not look like he's making a pass interference sign. It looks like the way they're talking to Coach Conlin on the sideline.
Could it have been too many men, perhaps? Both teams right now have 11 on the field, but they are still talking to Coach Conlin, seemingly giving him the choice of whether or not to accept or decline this penalty.
My guess is an illegal.
An eligible receiver against the offense, but it's declined with the incompletion. 4th down upcoming. 4th and 8. 1:56 to go in the fourth quarter. 26-21, the Rams have the lead. If they get the ball back, they have a chance to close the door.
Coach Conlin with a lot of faith in his defense right here. One play could pretty much end this game.
Braden Graham still in at quarterback. Cal Swanson's been out for a majority of the quarter. Empty backfield, 2 receivers on the left, 2 on the right. Back to pass, throws left, it's incomplete. There are no flags on the field. It's a turnover on downs, and Fordham will get the ball with 1:52 to go and a 5-point lead against Holy Cross.
Terrence Jones, the second on the pressure, laid a massive hit on Braden Graham there, forced him to get that ball out quickly and inaccurately. Incomplete Fordham ball.
The Fordham sideline going absolutely ballistic on that play. The Fordham faithful just to our right here in the press box, matching the energy, and Fordham's offense retakes the field here. Fresh set of downs from their own 35 with 1:52 to try and bleed off of this clock. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Running back offset to his left. Smith takes the snap, hands it off up the middle to Parks. Parks gets through the line of scrimmage and gets upfield for about 3 yards.
Fantastic job there by Jaden Allen, the tight end for Fordham, picking up Cam Santy, the linebacker for Holy Cross, blitzing on this run play, picks him up and opens up a hole for Parks.
And Holy Cross is forced to burn their second timeout of the half. Only 1 remaining after they had to take one at the start of the fourth quarter. 1:47 on the clock, and it's stopped.
And Fordham can really burn some clock on this drive, even if they don't get a first down. You think about this logically here. Fordham runs a play, another timeout called. We'll call it 1:42 left on the clock. Fordham's able to run one more play, and if they don't pick up the first down, that's another 40 to 45 seconds probably run off this clock.
Fordham has a 2nd down and 6. Ricky Parks is the back. It'll likely go to him. Jaden Allen in at tight end, playing more of a fullback role, set off the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers on the right and 1 on the left. Ball on the 39. It's a handoff to Parks up the middle. He breaks 1 tackle and gets another 2-yard gain here. It'll be 3rd down and 4. And there's a flag here. There's a flag on the far end of the field. Jabril Carter involved there, but couldn't see who it would be on necessarily. It seemed like the Fordham sideline was kind of screaming at Jabril Carter as if he had perhaps done something wrong, but we'll wait for the call here as the clock is stopped on the penalty at 1:42.
Yeah, the coaches were absolutely not happy with Jabril Carter on that.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on both teams. Fordham, number 82. Holy Cross, number 28. That's both first unsportsmanlike conduct of the game.
So a little bit choppy on the delivery of the call there, but it seems that we have offsetting on sportsmanlikes on both Jabril Carter and the man who was covering him.
And they were after the play, so the play does count. They offset, so no penalty yardage, but the play still happened, and it brings up a 3rd down and 4.
And there's a bit of a stoppage here. Both teams timeout Holy Cross.
That's their last
timeout
one,
Holy
too.
Cross. So the clock likely still running after the offsetting penalties. But they take their last timeout to stop the clock. Now 1:42 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's 3rd down and 4. If Fordham gets the first down here, that should do it.
First down does win it here. Big decision. Do you run it and just burn time, or pass it and risk the incompletion?
Smith shotgun, 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Smith fakes the handoff and takes it himself. He tries to get to the first down marker, but that's going to bring up fourth down as he's brought down about a yard short of the line to gain. It'll be 4th down and 1. The clock is going to run, though. He was brought down in bounds. And now there's a real decision to be made here, Brendan. Do you go for it on 4th down from your own 44 to try and ice the game, or do you send this ball away and trust the defense with Holy Cross pinned deep in their own territory?
I'm sending this thing way down the field. I am going to try and pin them inside their own 20 and make them go 80 yards down the field in under a minute with 0 timeouts. A team that hasn't necessarily passed the ball well and has a backup quarterback in.
So Joe Conlin waits the maximum amount of time that he could and then burns a timeout here to avoid the delay of game. 55 seconds on the clock here in the 4th quarter. Fordham with the ball and a 5-point lead over Holy Cross. But it's 4th down and 1, and Joe Conlin has a decision to make. Brendan, you already said you go with the safe option. Give the ball to Will Hazlitt, old reliable, one of the best punters in the FCS. Give him a chance to pin Holy Cross inside of their own 10 with less than a minute to go. Or do you ice the game? Give it to Ricky Parks, who's had an unbelievable day out of the backfield for the Fordham Rams. See if he can't get you one more yard here to ice this game.
Tucker, listen, I'm an aggressive guy, but and if it's on the ball, if the ball is on the other side of midfield here, I'm absolutely going for it. But with the ball inside your own 45, I'm kicking this thing away.
And so they will put an extra second back on the clock from the timeout. 56 to go here in the 4th quarter. Will Hazlitt is out for the punt for the Fordham Rams. Back to receive is Max Mosey for Holy Cross. The snap and the punt is away. It's a good one. It's a booming kick. It's going to be received. Fair caught at the 11-yard line. Excellent punt from Will Hazlitt, exactly when they needed it. And he goes over to the sideline and jumps up and hits a celebration with the special teams coach. Great moment there for Will Hazlitt. And now, with 50 seconds left on the clock, Holy Cross with no timeouts and a backup quarterback in, it's now up to the Fordham defense to try and lock down their first win against Holy Cross in almost 10 years.
Yeah, Holy Cross is coming after that punt just to try and get any field position advantage they can get. But that leaves no one back to block, and then they have to fair catch it at their own 10, 11-yard line. Long field for them, Tucker.
Shotgun for Graham. Empty backfield now after motion. Takes the snap, fires to the right. It's incomplete. He went for the tight end. He tried to hit Schillinger, but it's an incomplete pass. Clock does stop, though. 47 seconds and a 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, that went through Schillinger's hands, but kind of a good thing that it was dropped. That he would have been tackled inbounds. Time would have kept running after only a 5-yard gain.
2nd down and 10 from their own 11. Graham in the shotgun, running back to the right. 2 receivers to the left and 2 to the right. Back to pass is Graham. He fires to the right. He goes for his tight end, and I believe he has the completion. There's no signal yet, and now they are going to move the chains. So a completion that time to Schillinger for about 11 or 12 yards moves the sticks, but the clock is running, ticking down from 35. Quick snap for Graham, looking to the right again. He fires deep down the field, and it's incomplete off the hands of his intended target.
Yeah, that ball just thrown outside towards the sideline. Just misses on that ball. Hard to bring in, incomplete.
That time he went to the freshman wideout Lincoln Fisher, but the incompletion stops the clock. 32 seconds to go, 2nd down and 10. Fordham leads 26-21. Fordham sideline egging on their fan base, trying to get them to get loud for this defensive possession. Snap for Graham, 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. He's looking left, and now he dumps it off for the tight end. He gets to the 25 and is brought down by James Conway at the 27, laying the lumber on that hit. And that brings up 3rd down. Clock is still going to move. But there is an injured Fordham Ram back at the 15. This will surely stop the clock. That is really unfortunate for Fordham, as that play would have bled the clock maybe down under 10 seconds. but the injured Fordham Rams stops the clock at 19 for a 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, Fordham linebackers just were not happy. That was a fantastic play. Terrence Jones, the second, keeps the tight end in bounds. He takes an angle to force him back inside and keep that clock running.
And for the Rams, that was D lineman Tyler Davis, the freshman, one of those guys who's had to take more reps in this game because of the amount of injuries this defense has had.
And he's made a couple big plays today.
So now Fordham will likely lose him for the remainder of the game. They put a few seconds back on the clock due to the injury, so actually 22 to go here in the 4th. And the Fordham fans and sideline getting loud once again.
6 defensive backs on the field for Fordham.
Going big coverage with just 3 on the line of scrimmage. Graham in the backfield, 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. He's going to dump it off to Slade out of the backfield, who makes the catch, gets the 1st down, and gets out of bounds at the 35-yard line with 18 to go in the 4th.
Fordham is perfectly fine giving that up, about a 6 or 7 yard gain there. And they're just going to try to pick up yards, make it a manageable Hail Mary, but Fordham, just no big plays.
No doubles, as they would say in the baseball realm, Brendan. 18 seconds to go. Graham in the shotgun, running back to his left. 3 receivers on the right on the far side, 1 on the left. He's looking near side, has a man, it's Mosey, at the 45, and tackled out of bounds at the 46. That's another 1st down for Holy Cross, and the clock stopped at 15. They're being very efficient about getting down the field, using as little time as possible, but still just 15 seconds to go, and they're on the wrong side of the 50.
Yeah, field goal doesn't win the game. Fordham knows that. They're going to play back in coverage.
Same formation in the backfield with a running back offset to the left. This time 2 receivers on the right and 1 on the left. Graham takes the snap, drops back to pass. Looking middle, now looking left. Fires over the middle. It's intercepted at the 35-yard line. And Fordham is going to get the win against Holy Cross for the first time since 2016. There's 2 flags on the play, likely for excessive celebration or some kind of unsportsmanlike conduct, but that won't matter. The interception will count, and Fordham is going to go in the victory formation.
Andrew Osman in zone coverage reads the quarterback's eyes, jumps the in-breaking route, and seals this game with the interception. This Fordham defense, so good today, puts the period, the exclamation point on this game.
It's a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Fordham Rams, but this is one of those penalties you might have to excuse. The party is just about getting started in the Ram fan section just to our right here in the press box, as Fordham, led by Gunnar Smith, goes out into the victory formation. No timeouts for Holy Cross, 9 seconds on the clock, a 5-point lead for the Rams, and the wait is over. 9 long years, and it finally comes to an end. The Fordham Rams have defeated the Holy Cross Crusaders. 26-21 is your final.
26, Holy Cross 21.
And for the first time since 2016, the Ram Crusader Cup is coming to the Bronx. What an outstanding performance offensively, defensively, from the fans, everything. This was a full team win for the Fordham Rams to end an 8-game losing streak against a conference opponent and their most bitter rival in Holy Cross.
Fantastic game. You mentioned it, Tucker. Across the board, offense, defense, special teams, everybody played well. You played well in all 3 facets of the game. Odds are you're going to have a pretty good chance to win. And we see them bringing the Ram Crusader Cup out on the field right now and giving it to the Fordham Rams.
What a beautiful trophy. The men in maroon take it from the Walsh family, and the Fordham Rams take a regular season game against Holy Cross for the first time since their win way back in 2016 at Yankee Stadium. They do it at home in front of the Ram faithful here on Rose Hill. What an incredible game. And I'm just so happy we got to witness it, Brendan. I'm so happy we were able to bring it to the fans at home on 90.7 and on YouTube.
And a fantastic game with it, Tucker. Exciting down to the very end.
Gunnar Smith, 14 for 21, 254 yards, a passing touchdown, and a rushing touchdown. Ricky Parks, 12 carries, 88 yards, and a touchdown. Noden Tracy catching his first touchdown of his career. Meanwhile, the Fordham defense holding Holy Cross to 21 points. They hold an opponent to under 40 for the first time all season, and they get the biggest win in Fordham football in at least 3 or 4 years. With that, we will send it back to the Rose Hill studio for the one-on-one post-game report with Chris Carrino and Isabella Terracini. Take it away.
The one-on-one post-game report. Thank you, Tucker. Appreciate that. Fordham get the victory in the Ram Crusader Cup 26-21 over Holy Cross. Going to send it to the one-on-one scoreboard with Isabella Terracini. Take it away, Isabella.
Right. Well, the Ram Crusader Cup is over, but in the Patriot League play, the Lou Little Trophy is here as the Georgetown Hoyas are in the Big Apple facing an 0-1 Columbia. And the one-on-one scoreboard update, I'm Isabella Terracini.
Back here in the Rose Hill studio, Fordham Rams get their first victory of the season. Tucker Austin very pumped up after that one. It was an interesting second half. We talked about how pivotal that second half would be at halftime, and there were some major highlight plays. One of the biggest plays, a field goal in the fourth quarter. It was Bennett Henderson extending the Fordham lead and getting them out to the lead they'd eventually win with.
Yeah, Brendan, I do have a quick question for you. This is the best defense that we have seen in the second half for the season. So how are they really doing with it, and how do they get it done?
In the second half, it was all the defense, and we're going to bring in our broadcasters here, of course, Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey. The defense, boys, we talked about it. It was the biggest, if not the biggest topics talked about in the studio all afternoon long. No points in the second half for Holy Cross. How did this defensive unit for Fordham get it done?
We are just about to find out.
It was next man up, Brendan, Chris. Brendan's right next to me. It was next man up for this defense all game long. So many injuries over the past few weeks, and guys still dropping like flies in this game as well. But it was second and third string guys who don't usually get a lot of snaps who were making the most of their opportunity today against Holy Cross. And boy, did they show up in a huge, huge way. Like you said, Chris, 0 points in the second half, an unprecedented defensive performance this season out of the Fordham Rams, and just such a positive thing to see from the defense, especially when you think about going forward for this Fordham team.
Yeah, and a big point of focus for this Fordham defense coming into this week against Holy Cross was to limit those chunk plays that we've seen them give up all throughout the first few games of the season. And they did that so well today. They limited those chunk plays. They made this Holy Cross offense drive play by play, picking up short yardage each time, drive all the way down the field. And when you force a team to do that, it's going to not work out at a higher percentage than if you allow them to chunk plays after chunk plays.
That's right. So I just really want to know, how did they actually get the job done on the defense? They're dropping like flies, as you just said, but it did turn out to be a great defensive game in that second half. Only 6 points, 2 field goals. So they just held them to such minimal yardage. So how did they do it?
Well, Isabella, the defense for Fordham was really flying around in this game. I mean, you go back to that first half with the play Drew Minich made against Swanson for Holy Cross, where he gets out of the pocket, and then Minich comes flying from the opposite side of the field in the secondary and cuts him down just 3 yards after the line of scrimmage. There was stuff like that all over the field today for the Fordham Rams, really just getting hats to the football and keeping outside contain as well. That was one of the things me and Brendan harped on a little bit during the broadcast. It was just that Fordham did a great job containing the entirety of the Holy Cross offense, and I mean, it showed in that second half. I also think a little bit Fordham was helped by the fact that Swanson did leave the game somewhere around the end of the third, start of the fourth quarter. They had to go to their backup quarterback, Braden Graham. So I think having a backup quarterback in the game for Holy Cross also helped the Fordham defense a little bit, especially late. But overall, you cannot take anything away from this Fordham defense after this game. They played unbelievable. Like, they shut me up from last week in the studio when I was working the halftime and postgame show, and I had a serious problem with Fordham's defense giving up 500-plus yards against Colgate. But this week, boy, did they ever prove me wrong. I may never talk down on the Fordham defense ever again.
And listen, it was an all-around effort. You got guys like Terrence Jones II, who comes flying in and makes a couple of big plays, a big sack, a big quarterback hit. You got freshman defensive linemen stepping up and making big plays. It's just being able to come in and make an impact in the limited snaps that everyone gets, and it's an all-around effort. Everyone was contributing today, and they looked great out there.
Not to mention Osman totally locked in on the last drive to get that interception to seal it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a massive play for this team and arguably the biggest moment of the Fordham defense's season so far. Just quickly looking at the other side of the ball, maybe the most improved unit for this Fordham team, just all around, looking at the whole roster, both sides of the ball, is the running game. Ricky Parks was really good today. Yohan Lee Lewis was good today. Gunnar Smith, in his own right, was doing it with his legs. What did you guys see in the rushing game for Fordham, and how different did this offense look with that rushing game working well?
I mean, it's a completely different team, Chris. When the running game is working, it unlocks pretty much everything else for these Fordham Rams. You see them get up almost to 300 yards in the passing game. They sat at 254, but the reason they were able to so easily rack up those passing yards was because of the threat on the ground. And I'm not really sure what went differently. Like, the blocking scheme seemed pretty much the same in front of Ricky Parks. The execution was just a little bit better, and they managed to find him holes all the time, and not to mention a 45-yard rushing touchdown on the second play of the game. That was his longest rush and Fordham's longest rush since last season. So really, I think it was a matter of Fordham's run game trying to get going for a majority of the past year, but really the execution not quite being there. But I think everybody executed. All 11 guys on the field did their job today, every single play in the running game, and it shows itself in the stats.
As for the blocking, Coach Conlin told us this week when we talked to him that they are really worried about that. That was kind of an emphasis in practice this week, was getting your pad level right, getting your hands right, double teaming these interior defensive linemen to open up holes for the running backs. And it worked so well today, and it opens up everything for the pass when you can run the ball well. You have a 3rd and 4. You could run that, or you could throw that. The defense won't know, but it also helps you avoid situations like 3rd and 10 because you threw with 2 incompletions.
Yeah, and just on a personal level, we won't keep you guys much longer, but both of you have now done multiple games for this team, have seen multiple losses this season. Just on a personal level for both of you, how'd it feel to see Fordham Rams get that victory today? Was it vindicating?
Refreshing.
Refreshing, yeah.
You
Good
say
word.
refreshing, Brendan. You say vindicating, Chris. I don't think I have been more excited since my freshman year here at Fordham. This means so much to me on a personal level. Like, we've been getting to work with Fordham Football this whole time, and working last season with Fordham Football, primarily, almost entirely in the studio when I was working on these games. Getting to be here for the call of Fordham's first win against Holy Cross in almost 10 years, I don't think there's anything more special than that. I hate to say this would be a peak, but I may have just peaked at Fordham in my WFUV career. This is absolutely incredible, and I'm ecstatic right now, Chris.
Well, Tucker, like the Fordham Rams, you and Brendan were fantastic this afternoon. Really appreciate the call. Fantastic job from both of you guys. Brought all the energy all afternoon long.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks so much, Chris.
Thank you to the on-field crew. We're going to send it back to the studio now. Brendan Shorey and Tucker Austin on the wonderful call there on the wonderful game here this afternoon. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this Fordham team won the game down the stretch. It started in the second half. This Fordham team accentuates their lead with a Bennett Henderson field goal, and that was the eventual lead they'd win this game with.
And the snap, the kick is up, and it is good. Bennett Henderson, 2 for 3 on field goals on the afternoon.
And on the other side of the ball, as this fourth quarter went on, Fordham got a massive stop on fourth down. Up to that point, maybe the biggest defensive play of the Fordham season so far.
Deep backfield, 2 receivers on the left, 2 on the right. Back to pass, throws left, it's incomplete. There are no flags on the field. It's a turnover on downs, and Fordham will get the ball with 1:52 to go and a 5-point lead against Holy Cross.
And I said the biggest play up to that point because the biggest play came later of the Fordham defense's season so far. Andrew Osman getting an interception and icing this win for the Fordham Rams.
Graham takes the snap, drops back to pass, looking middle, now looking left, fires over the middle. It's intercepted at the 35-yard line. And Fordham is going to get the win against Holy Cross for the first time since 2016. There's 2 flags on the play, likely for excessive celebration or some kind of unsportsmanlike conduct, but that won't matter. The interception will count, and Fordham is going to go in the victory formation.
That play capped off, Isabella, what was maybe the biggest display from this Fordham defense so far this season. No points in the second half for Holy Cross. Fordham didn't do a lot of scoring in the second half either, but when your defense plays that well, you really don't need to.
Exactly. This was a very defensively strong game, and we love to see it here in the studio. It was the stops, it was the fourth downs and the third downs. They looked awesome out there, and it really didn't matter who was in the backfield for the Crusaders because they just knew that they were going to get the stop for that fourth down.
Yeah, and Fordham was against momentum. Holy Cross had a ton of momentum going into halftime, accentuating their lead eventually at halftime. They go into the locker room 21-20. They just had their lead. Fordham was dominating that whole first half. That has to do something to your confidence to not have a lead going into the locker room after pretty much dominating for a full half.
Right. It was really the first quarter, though. Those 3 touchdowns for Fordham, they just killed it. Yes, Bennett Henderson did miss a field goal there and an extra point, but he made it back with those 2 field goals back in the second half. So we're looking at just like a game of evolution and a game of just really knowing what they're doing, playing strong, playing to their strengths, and knowing that their defense is getting good. And it's week 5. So we've seen 4 weeks past this, and it looked pretty bleak, and now they finally stepped it up. It's the Ram Crusader Cup, one of the most big games in Fordham football universe. Like, this is a big game, so this was the win. It's been almost 10 years, and it's like Tucker put it evenly. He's so excited. He's never been this happy since freshman year, which is awesome.
Yeah, Isabella, and we touched briefly on the run game before that, talking to Tucker and Brendan. The pass game was interesting today because no one had an abundance of receptions. No one had an insane amount of yards, but you look at the receiving average per catch for Fordham, 18 yards. That's a whole lot of yards. Maybe Gunnar Smith isn't throwing the ball as much, but it seemed that Fordham was getting their bang for their buck in the passing game, specifically those long plays down the field.
Yeah, exactly. It comes in quality over quantity. So the yards, no, there were not that many attempts, but the attempts that were made were so strong, and it just completely dominated the entire field.
Yeah, absolutely. And for some places, this would almost look confusing. You look at first downs, Holy Cross 20 to Fordham 17. You look at reception yards, it's right around the same. And you look at receptions, Holy Cross almost had double the receptions as Fordham. But then you look at yards per play. Fordham's almost doubled Holy Cross in that vein. And then you look at plays and yards per play. So 78 plays for Holy Cross, 54 plays for Fordham. That's over 20 more plays for Holy Cross and 80 less yards. Fordham doing it with less plays and getting more yards. That's a very efficient offense, way more efficient than Fordham's used to this whole season.
Exactly. It took 4 weeks for them to finally settle in and really just dominate the run and the pass game, but it looks as though they're finally getting it. And Gunnar is going places. Yeah. He's launching it. He sees his man downfield and he goes for it, and it's a beautiful pass.
Yeah, Gunnar Smith, 184.0 QBR today, 14 completions, 21 attempts. That's a 67.7 percentage, 254 yards, 1 touchdown, and only 1 sack. That sack came in the second half. A lot has been said about this Holy Cross front seven and the way they get after the quarterback. Fordham offensive line did a great job this afternoon.
Oh, absolutely. The O-line has been carrying, and only 1 sack. This is probably the least amount of sacks we've seen in a game since the season started. So it's just it's really just awesome to see them just keep going.
And then now, Isabella, looking ahead, next week after this win against Holy Cross, they play at Lafayette, a team that has been tough in this Patriot League for a very long time, a program that's very respected and has been very impressive in the last couple of years. Just looking forward broadly for this Fordham team, what are the sort of elements they need to do this more often?
I just think they need to have a little bit more grit and confidence walking in and out of the locker room. They knew what they were doing today. It started bright and early, 1 p.m., and 3 touchdowns. Later, and 2 field goals later, it was a win. And I think it just needs to remain that kind of level-headed mindset of yes, we see everything that's going on the field. We're going to launch it, and then it's on the defense. And even though, yes, the defensive line has been dropping like flies, I think they come back, given a couple more weeks, they come back and they keep knocking at every door. And this might be another win next week.
Yeah, Isabella, you look at the final scores of this season so far. There hasn't been a lot of close games, but it feels, at least from my perspective, watching play-by-play of these games, that they're a lot closer, a lot more competitive than maybe the scoreboard says.
Right, because it's not only about the scoreboard. It's about the number of yards that you're gaining and the number of receptions and receivers on the field. So it's just there is a story to every game, and it's the way that it's going, and this game was probably my favorite story of the year.
Fantastic all around from the Fordham Rams. Fordham Rams very excited with their victory this afternoon in the Ram Crusader Cup. They get a victory over Holy Cross, 26-21. It was defensive stops at the end of the game that did it for Fordham, and just a defensive commitment in the second half that got it done for the Rams. We want to thank everyone on the broadcast today. Of course, our highlight people, Izzy Randazzo, of course, and then on engineering, Abby Cristofaro. Ari Patel was also on highlights. Isabella Terracini was with me in studio. Of course, our producer is Joe Henry, and of course, our sports director is Bobby Chaffardini. Thank you, everybody. Fordham wins 26-21 over Holy Cross. Have a fantastic afternoon.
Once I was a soldier, and I fought on foreign sands for you. Once I was a hunter,